Good morning, everybody. You caught me not looking over here. You caught me looking over there. I didn't realize the opener was already over. And Jimmy's like, ha, ha, ha. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to Mornings in Live with Keith and Friends. I'm your host. I'm Keith Bills, getting after it. Yep, the brand new opener. Good morning, Roofy. I see you there in the comments. What else we got here this morning? Oh, yeah. All right, we're getting after it today. We're unpacking why processed foods can totally transform your mood. Listen, we talk about it daily. Processed foods are killing us. What happens if you drop them out? How does it affect your mood? We also got the scoop on how your grip strength, grip strength. Jimmy, not around the pigeon. No, the grip strength around the barbell. Yeah, it could literally predict your lifespan. And an exclusive chat about AI that's either making headlines or straight up stealing your job. Plus, Scott Buell's here today. We're talking STEM. Yeah, STEM education and drones. The guy's a drone. The guy found a drone, found some kids, and built a whole business around it. Pretty damn exciting, cool stuff. We're talking about midlife pivots and inspiring kids everywhere. And don't miss the habit stack here today. Gratitude meets your morning brew for unstoppable. Yeah, all right. For unstoppable mornings ahead. Before we jump in, don't forget, smash the like button. Tune in to the brand new tunes of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. I'm making music now on suno.com, your AI music creator with Uncle Keith. Yeah, I'm going to create some tunes. We're going to create a soundtrack to the lab. That's the plan, Jimmy. A soundtrack to the lab. Music to get you guys up, get you guys going, because I can be a rapper. Yeah, so before we get into it, I invite you guys, smash the button, like the button, tell everybody about the greatest morning show on the planet. And just a reminder, guys, this is an R-rated experience. So if you have kids around, you might want to remind the kids that we say bad words. And they might be offended by some of the things that we say. So I invite you to get them out of here. Or just tell them they're going to learn a bunch of new things today. We got John and Marty here in the lab today. Scott Buell joining me here in the lab. Big show. We got Nicole Bernard joining me an hour too. 9:45 Eastern time, give or take a few minutes. We're doing business and branding. Going to get into a few topics in the business and branding world. And of course, we got Scott Buell bringing in some drone conversation as well today. And then at the end of the show, you guys know we got a brand new segment we're offering here up on the platform called The Exchange. It's where we highlight folks who are doing incredible things over there. They come on into the lab. It's a paid experience. Yeah, we sit down and make content with them. So we're going to do a 15-minute conversation with Matthew Roof this morning, the uncommon kindness guy. And hey, guys, just to let you guys know, you guys are going to be hearing and seeing a lot more of Matthew Roof. He's hanging out with us here in the lab, and he's going to be working on some of the business development side of things. So get used to seeing Roofer. The dude's going to be around often, I suspect. So excited about having Matthew on the team, and we're going to do an exchange segment. Jimmy, the guy's all about uncommon kindness. What I like about that is that I've talked about it before. You know, we think kindness is common. It's actually quite uncommon. There's much truth to the whole idea that kindness is not as common as we think it is. I would suspect if you walked into a group of 10 people, I'm just going to suspect, not as many are as kind as you think they are. They might put on the front, but whether there's kindness laced into that, I think there's much to be said around that. So we're going to get into a conversation on that today. Johnny's jumping into the lab. I know he was running a little bit behind on the left cheek, right cheek bidet experience this morning. So Jimmy, as Johnny gets himself sorted out here, let's bring him up to speed. What's going on, brother? I got to get the towel. I'm red and flushed and after it today.
You got to get the what?
I got to get the towel.
Yeah, you've been showing up nice and rosy cheeked lately, haven't you?
Yeah, because I've been getting after it, and I've been I love getting after it, getting the energy in before I walk into the lab. I just feel great, man. I just because you know what it is, Johnny. I'll put it out there. I got a checkbox done. You know how it works. I got something.
Brother, you're raising your vibration.
Yeah,
it's time. You're 100%. You're getting yourself in that peak state so you can convey what needs to be conveyed to everybody watching. I'm totally with you, brother. Yeah. This is the stuff that you really can't describe in words. People just feel it.
You actually can't describe it. You're right. You're either going through it or you're not. Speaking of going through it or you're not, how was your morning bidet experience this morning, Mr. Anderson? Was it as fulfilling for you as my ride and my lift was? I did deep cheeks here today. I had some great squats, some great deadlifts today, and my cheeks were getting at it. How are your cheeks feeling after your bidet experience?
So basically, these mornings where what I've been doing is I've been kind of playing with my fats in terms of my diet. So I've been doing some fat loading. Yeah. So when I do some fat loading, I'm basically, I'm always having fun manipulating the body and just seeing how it reacts.
Yeah.
You know, because ultimately, everything I teach, I basically tested and worked out on myself. So then when I teach somebody else, I understand, of course it's never exactly the same, but I understand. It's kind of like, I've climbed the side of a mountain. I can go to another mountain. I can climb that one too. It's going to be different, but I understand the principles.
Yes.
Know what to look for.
Yes.
So anyway, I've been just kind of playing with two different, last night I did almonds.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And the day before that, I was doing coconut oil.
Okay.
And so basically the long and short of it is when I take in those fats, there's obviously I'm loading. So there's going to be a little bit of waste. Yes. So I'm getting this. So it's like on these days where I fat load the day before, it's like I'm running back to the bathroom an extra time or two.
Yeah.
That's where it's going from.
Yeah. Good morning, Marty. What's shaking, brother?
What's up, baby?
Yeah. Good to see you,
brother.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey,
so it's a nice rainy day here, man.
Oh, I don't mind rainy days, man. I'm one of the few folks I think that enjoy the overcast and enjoy rain. I got to admit, and I'm not saying I don't want it all the time. I enjoy the sun and everything, but I don't mind overcast and rain. I don't. There's something really peaceful and calm about it.
Yeah,
those are days to work on your life expectancy work.
Yeah, solo or not.
Not where I was going. But, sure.
Hey, I want to learn about the fat loading, Johnny. So when you're crushing, so let's teach a little bit of test and do some teaching here. So do you crush your fats right before bed? So is that kind of like a last statement? So I know you're in bed and you get your good 8 hours of sleep. No,
it's a great question. It's a great question, brother. So everybody's different. That would be something that we'd have to figure out through trial and error. But so if I start fat loading too early in the day, it bogs me down.
And define that. Bogs you mentally or physically or slows your body down or what? What do you say? What do you mean?
Yeah, because my body at that point, because normally I'm eating, I eat fats with every meal.
Yes.
But it's primarily protein is what I function the best off of. So when I raise the fat up to a point where I'm trying to load, where it's going to be more like equal parts, my body has a much bigger job. So it's almost like, it's going to put more energy into the digestion and dealing with the I guess I call it a splash.
Okay.
It's like a splash of nutrients, like this big, so it's got to handle that. Kind of like, like on an average person might feel like this after he ate too much fucking pizza or a Big Mac.
Yeah. Yes.
Because the body's kind of going, and it's got a big job to do. And so ultimately, I've just been playing with the fats and like when I wake up in the morning, I feel full. Like my muscles are, I don't know if you can tell a difference, but like when I go like this, if I want to scratch my head, I'm not bringing my hand all the way there. I got to, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because my shit is full. Full is a term for muscles are loaded.
And correct me on this. But typically, and I'm using the word typical with air quotes. Typically, we use carbohydrates to fill muscles. No, Johnny, is that kind of a historical? Is that kind of what people would typically? Okay, I'm going to get my carbs in to fill my muscles.
I mean, that's for sure. I mean, that's the most commonly known. But largely, it's because who doesn't fucking like to eat a bunch of carbohydrates, saying they're doing it for a positive fucking purpose? Yeah, no, but
I'm just bringing it up. I just want to bring it because what you're saying is that my muscles are feeling full, but I like what you're saying because you consume some fats for you and fats are working for you. The point of my conversation always brings it back to, we got to find out what works for you, for the individual. And that's what works for you. Marty, you know what I'm saying? Like it's you probably operate differently than Johnny does, or even I do, right? So it's finding what works for you, right, Marty?
Yeah, I never loaded fat before. I might have loaded the bar at the gym, but I never loaded fat before. But usually my fats.
It's a deeper thing for sure, brother. It's not something a lot of times people discover it later on in their journey when it comes to this stuff,
Yeah, definitely. Now I usually get my fats from the oil I use to cook.
Oh yeah.
I do like nuts during the day.
Yeah.
And then just from like, I guess the lean protein, I have the fat there.
Yeah.
But every now and then I'll do avocado, stuff like that. But I don't really, I get it. I just get it. I don't want to say naturally, but I never made it a point to get more of it and focus on that.
I know we don't talk often about the numeric values around macronutrients and for another show, different time, but Johnny, just curious with you, man, what kind of fat grams are you consuming on like you said you loaded last night? Like what are you at 60, 70, 80, 150? Like what kind of grams of fat?
You know, it's I love that you asked that question, because what I teach, part of why I'm doing this is because the people that my clients that want to level up their life, what they don't want to be fucking doing is breaking out a calculator, a pencil, and paper to fucking keep track of all this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm keeping track of it. So I'll break it down.
Yeah.
It's a real quick summary. My program is the Elite 3. There's three and there's steps. 3 that goes into the mental side of it, and 3 that goes into the physical side, primarily the diet. Yeah. So those 3 really help you track. It's like your body's language. You learn, like, think of like this. If you could actually have a conversation with your dog, think how much better that relationship would be, right? Well, most people understand their fucking dogs better than their bodies. Yes. So when I teach someone to have a true conversation with their body, you don't have to do all that fucking dumb counting shit. My people don't want that, nor do they have time for that.
Yeah.
So I'm teaching them to basically kind of go off of feel, if you will.
Yes. Yeah. I understand. So you're leading the charge. So you're saying to me, hey man, I'm learning that these fats are working best for me. This is what you might want to try. So you might say to me something like, grab a handful of almonds, grab a scoop of almond ball of butter, or Marty might say, have a little bit of coconut oil. Like that's how you're coaching your folks, right? Based on what you're experiencing.
It's everybody has, like, perfect example. I already know that the best digesting fat for me is avocado. So I don't have to play with that one. That one's off. That one's just such a clear winner. I don't need to test that one anymore. But then obviously almonds is one of those things that I'm constantly preaching because they're so convenient.
Yes.
So I'm thinking if we can take that convenience and we can turn it into a load, that makes it really great. That makes it good, because I've loaded with almond butter often because it's fucking great. I love the taste of it. It's something I look forward to.
Yes.
So again, it's just a matter of, like, if I'm not pushing the limits or striving, I'm dying.
So I love this, because that's what AJ taught me. And when I met AJ, because as I told you guys, I went to AJ looking for all the answers I wanted to hear, and AJ kept saying, no, it's not what you want to hear. This is the answer, that how it works. So because we all try to go find what we want the news to be, so fits our world. So AJ taught me all the things that we talk about every single day. That's why I really enjoy this conversation, because it's learning. And I have found myself too, Johnny, that as I've gotten a little older and more mature in life, I find myself playing more with fats instead of carbohydrates. I find they work a little better for me, and I enjoy them, frankly, a little bit more, frankly. So,
well, and here's the thing, though, that was 100% I agree with you. However, the thing that people tend to not understand is the carbohydrate doesn't bring a lot of essentials into play.
Yes.
Fat selected properly does.
Yes.
So you're helping with brain function. You're helping with, your healing properties, your hair, your skin, your fingernails. So I want every single thing that I teach someone is moving the needle forward. There's no wasted movement. There's no wasted action. There's no wasted intake.
Well, and it's interesting because the way that you guys, teach yourself your training methods and your techniques so you can train your clients, it's the same thing I do here on the business side of things. Like every single fucking day I'm testing something on YouTube or Substack or LinkedIn, and I'm testing my own things so we can teach somebody else, right? So, hey, you're hanging out with Keith, John, and Marty here on Mornings and Live with Keith and Friends. We got Scott Buell joining us here in a couple minutes. Scott, I see you there in the green room on both sides of the platform. Jimmy, I think we got him set up, and I see your fingers up there as well. Hey, Marty, have you ever wondered if something as simple as your grip could tell you how long you're going to live? And I'm asking you, my young brother, because today some research has discovered that there's a powerful link between grip strength and longevity, and why this underrated strength marker may be the most important test that you're not doing. Marty, grip strength isn't just about lifting heavy things. It's one of the strongest predictors of your overall health. Studies show that weak grip strength significantly increases the risk of falls, fractures, cardiovascular disease, and even early death. And understanding and improving it could literally add years to your life. Now get this, guys. Research shows that for every 5 kilogram drop in grip strength, it correlates with a 16% chance of higher all-cause mortality risk and a 21% greater risk of cardiovascular disease. So what this study is saying, that as our grip strength decreases, our mortality risk increases. And there's this predictive power, outperforming many traditional health metrics and forecasting future health declines. Now, neurological muscular health, grip strength reflects not just muscle condition, but neurological integrity, giving it powerful diagnostic value. And guys, one of the proven exercises, we've talked about it here on the show, but is highly encouraged. I know you guys both support this, but is the farmer's carry.
Like, well, you know, brother, I agree with everything you're saying, but I think, you know, to just the way I was doing, let's fucking boil this down. Let's help people understand what this means. This doesn't mean go to fucking Big Five and get one of these little fucking things and sit on the couch.
No, exactly.
That's a good point. Good point.
That means that your grip strength being developed means you're living a fucking life where you're using it. You're doing pull-ups. You're fucking doing yard work. You're doing shit with your hands. You're not dormant.
Yes.
If you're dormant, you're not going to fucking develop your grip strength. And doing this all fucking day is not going to do that much for you anyway. If you're going to do that, you might as well do that.
Marty, you didn't grow up with those. Johnny and Keith grew up with those.
I had them.
Oh, I had them. You have those stupid things?
No, dude. They in the strength world, there's a series of these things where you actually get certified. You know.
Really?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. I was the 44th man to close the number 3 grip.
Oh my god!
Oh wow.
Did not know that. Did not know that.
My mom was tired of people taking the ball from me in basketball, so she got them for me.
We have just some wrapping up the segment before we get to the accountability check. And longevity expert Dr. Bidet, highly respected fellow in the fitness and longevity world, recommends carrying 100% of your body weight for men and 75% for women. So for at least a minute, right? So pick up.
I want to add this too.
Yeah, Marty.
We had the farmer carry in the High Rocks.
Oh yeah,
man, that was too light, way too light. So I trained heavier, so I was ready for the race, and it was I didn't realize it was like 53 pounds in each hand. That wasn't shit. Yeah,
no kidding.
No, 53 pounds. If you really want to fucking push it, you got to go. I mean, if I'm going to recommend someone does it, they start with half their body weight per hand. Half.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
But then that's just to get used to it. Where you want to go is you want your body weight in each hand.
Yes.
I got you.
Now, granted, you got to work for that. Don't think you're going to go half fucking workout one and whole the next one, but that's your marker. You know, when we were doing that shit in strength, we were in many, like for me, it would have been like 1.5 times body weight in many cases.
You know what's misleading, boys, is you pick up a 45-pound plate with your hands and you start carrying it like down a track.
Oh yeah,
that's hard because you're gripping it. And so AJ had me do that often. I would not only the actual farmer carry, but take 2 plates, grip them in each hand, and walk up like a half a kilometer track and just walk and try not to drop it. Right? That's hard.
Real quick on this whole discussion, because I don't remember if we talked about it or had this conversation with Terry, but there's studies about basically the diameter of your upper leg.
Okay.
If your upper leg is got some girth to it, it's basically it's supposedly proving a longer life. Well, just all of these studies, what they're doing is the people that have that bigger leg, it's symptomatic or a byproduct of their lifestyle. So, don't think that, oh my God, I just need to get my upper leg bigger. How do I do that? No. You're looking at this wrong. These studies are saying these people that have these active lifestyles, that have these developed grips, that have these bigger legs, they're going to live longer because they're fucking living a lifestyle that's going to allow them to do so.
So
just remember, don't get fucking fooled by this shit.
Yes. Yeah. This is good.
What if you got 3 legs?
Or
is the middle one a baby's arm holding an apple?
That's Marty's story. He's telling daily here. But hey,
if you got a third leg, just fucking wrap it around the right one.
Our buddy Roofy's got a comment for you boys here. Don't grip it too hard though, Johnny, because it causes blackheads, right, John?
Well, that's not a grip. That's a pinch.
Pinching the head. Reality speaker, want to join? Check comments, my friend. Good to see you. Reality speaker, I see your comments. And Lady Drew, I see your comments as well. Welcome to the show, guys. Hey, we got a guest coming up in a minute. He traded the corporate boardrooms for buzzing drones in classrooms full of kids. I found this guy on LinkedIn, guys. This guy leaves the corporate world, finds some drones, and builds a business with drones and kids. Like, who doesn't want to fucking do that? We got Scott Buell joining us here in a second. Pretty cool business. We're going to get into drone conversation with Scott Buell and STEM and kids and a lot of great stuff. Scott was supposed to be on the show last week, but a few things come up, and he wanted to make sure his experience was great. So we got Scott joining us here in a quick second. But Jimmy, let's get the accountability check-in before we get the show continued on here, guys. All right. You are what you repeat. Yeah. For years, I couldn't stand my own reflection. That is a true motherfucking story. Get in the mirror and go, didn't matter how much I achieved. I'd look in the mirror and I'd pick myself apart. Too husky, too heavy, too soft, too weak. Hate my forehead, hate my teeth, hate all about me. I'd actually beat myself up. It's funny because you see a confident standing speaker in front of the camera now. Man, sometimes behind the scenes, you don't know what you don't know. The self-talk was relentless and it was brutal, but here's what I didn't realize back then. That same mindset followed me into everything. Because if you practice judgment in the mirror, well, you start expecting it everywhere else too. True story. Because what we think about ourselves, it leaks out into our tone, our posture, our decisions, into the environment around us. You can have all the fucking skills in the world, but if your inner script is trash, you're going to sabotage those outcomes without even noticing it. So here's what I do now. I speak to myself like someone I respect. I speak to myself like I'm talking to Johnny or Marty. I catch that negative self-talk and I just stop it and I replace it with, I'm not where I want to be with, I'm building it. So I invite you, if you're stuck right now, you're beating yourself up, change the tone, change your inner dialogue. You have to believe in your own dialogue and you have to act on it, because on some days you're still going to look in the mirror and hear, I'm not good enough. Trust me. And that's when we've got to show up anyway. And that's how you become confident and you become unstoppable. Talk to yourself the way you talk to your friends. Talk to yourself the way you talk to your partner. Talk to yourself the way you talk to your kids. Stop beating yourself up. You'll see the magic. Good morning, K-Drac. Good morning, reality speaker. All right, let's keep it rolling here, Jimmy. I'm going to put the glasses back on for the fun with Scott Buell. Hold on, Jim, let's bring the intro up to speed here. Bang on, bang on. All right. Today, we're joined by Scott Buell, the CEO of Drone Legends, a man who at 52 took a bold leap from corporate life into the buzzing, chaotic world of educational drones. His programs are not just teaching kids how to fly, they're teaching them how to soar in life, building everything from coding skills to unshakable confidence. We're going to chat career pivots, making STEM. What the hell is STEM? Exciting again. How drones are turning classrooms into launch pads for future legends. Yes, K-Jack, I'm building a statue of myself, 100%. Jimmy, let's bring him in. Let's bring in the guy, the man of the hour, Scott Buell.
Hey, Keith.
What's up, Scotty?
Can you hear me all right, man?
I can hear you loud and clear. Good to see you this morning. Good to have you.
Yeah.
Good to have you here,
man. Yeah, good to see you, man. Good to see you.
So Scott meet Johnny, Scott meet Marty, Marty and Johnny meet Scott Buell.
Hey,
Scott,
guys.
What's up, Scott?
Hey, man. Good to see you both. Good to see you. I've been
Buell,
watching.
I think you're down from Marty. Aren't you in the Maryland area, Scott?
I'm in Philly. Actually, I'm right outside of Philly. I'm in Jersey, South Jersey, Eagles country, baby.
Oh, right. Eagles country. Yeah.
Right here. I bleed green over here.
Yeah, I kicked us out the playoffs, man.
Yeah, that's all right, man. Where you from, Marty? Where are you?
I'm in Maryland. I'm a Commanders guy. I'm right outside of D.C.
Oh, you are? I grew up in Reston, man. I was a Redskins fan as a little kid. I'm old. Back in the 70s, I wore the maroon and yellow, man. So
yeah, when we were good.
Riggins days, dude. Riggins days.
I remember those days. So Buell, we're same age. Yeah. I remember those Riggins days.
Dude, I'm getting up there, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, awesome. Well, it's good to see you all, man.
That's
thanks.
Awesome. I'm really excited to have you here, man. I found your profile on LinkedIn, and we're intentionally finding some pretty cool people for the show. And dude, It struck me that you had this. Here's what struck me. There's a lot of dudes that are stuck in their corporate jobs, their jobs that they hate. Johnny always says, I don't know why people work at something they hate just to go and retire. What's the saying you have, Johnny? What is it again?
Yeah, it's just basically why you're basically planning to get away from something that you don't want to do for 40 years.
Yeah, it's bizarre to me, actually. And what struck me, Scott, is that you had a corporate job, and I'm suspecting you like drones. And you took drones, you took education, you took a corporate job, threw it aside, and you've built a business with some pretty cool shit. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. 100%.
So first of all, before we get into the meat and potatoes of that, I got to ask, Like how? Like what gave you the courage to step outside of your comfort zone of the corporate job? Because again, there's guys listening right now going, "Oh, I'd love to do that, but I'm just too scared, or I don't know how." How did you do it, Scott Buell?
I think you were just talking about it, man. I mean, self-worth and accountability, and looking at myself as I grew up. You know, I hadn't a lot of my life was spent jerking around, doing dumb shit. I reached an age in my early 50s where I woke up one day and was like, all right, man, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I quit drinking. On the day, it was the first time the Eagles won the Super Bowl. I think I had started to turn the heat up a little bit during all those playoffs. And you know,
I'm jealous, man.
I'm jealous. Guy. I'm going to keep rubbing it in, Marty. So, I'm an obsessive guy, man. I've got an addictive personality, and I don't do anything halfway. I just go all in on everything that I do. And when I quit drinking, somebody will tell you, you know, Steve O, I think, had a great quote. Quitting alcohol is one of the coolest things you ever do, because you wake into this amazing clarity and this amazing sense of what you can do, because you spent so much time and effort working on the drinking that when you pull that away, you're like, holy crap. I'm like, it's like, you know what? It's like doing pull-ups with a flak jacket on. When you stop and you go without that jacket, you feel like you're floating on air. And I swear to God, that's the feeling I had. I felt unstoppable. And then I started, you know, you talk about positive self-worth, and I do talk to myself quite a bit. I have a great dialogue inside my head. Nobody's going to believe in you more than you believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself, because nobody's coming to help you, you know. And I started doing this a lot. I think it's just innate, but to get to your point of how did I do it? I had reached a point where I was jumping. I had never chased purpose. I'd always chased money. I'd always done things for what everybody else expected me to do, right? I never had this, I call it my North Star. I never had it. I was floating around. Oh, that looks cool. I'll go over here. Oh, there's a great job. I'll go over there. They're offering me this kind of money. You know, you do that long enough. It's that weird, you know, 1 degree over a longer period of time turns into a big giant gap, and you lose yourself in that. And you wake up in midlife and you go, I hate what I do. I don't like this, man. And then, you know, God willing, here I am now, you know, 1.5 years, almost 2 years into my sobriety kick, and I'm feeling amazing. And so there's this disconnect between how I feel mentally and physically, and emotionally, I'm just not there. I'm like, I'm done. I'm toast. And I jumped out of job after job. But, you know, when you're doing that early on, it's okay. But as you get older, you start to burn out a little bit. And I remember one day, this dude, I had just taken this last job, and he's dressing me down. And this had been ongoing. And I'm thinking, I'm in hell, man. I'm like, I've built a prison around me. I got the big house. I'm driving the fat car. I did everything the wrong way, right? I focused, my priorities were all out of whack. Yeah. Instead of, you know, and I remember I was like, I was in sales for like 25 years. I said, I've made a lot of people a lot of money. Like, I don't need this guy. Yeah. And quite frankly, I didn't need half the people that I worked for. And I was like, you know, and then to just put a little backdrop on all that, back in 2015, I'm sitting here in my office and I see a little kid flying a drone out there after Christmas one day. And I'm like, wow, it looks like a hell of a lot of fun. So I went and bought one. It's still sitting up there, this old piece of crap right there. Yeah. And I started tooling around with it. That's a little SEMA. That thing's a mess, right? Oh, yeah. And I went and I started playing around with it. And again, OCD kicks in. And I'm full in now, and I'm flying this, and I get the big Phantom, right? It's the first big drone I bought. I remember taking it up, and I've become known as like the neighborhood drone dude out here in like Marlton, New Jersey. And so fast forward to 2019, when I'm standing in front of this guy and he's dressing me down. When I picked up a drone in 2015, it was a hobby kind of a thing. There wasn't a whole lot going on. 2019, boom, commercial drone services market is hopping. Today, that market's projected to reach $130 billion by the year 2028, 2030. You got companies like Zipline Drones, market cap of $400 million, delivering life-saving medicines around the world. Amazon's going to be using them. Everything's. So I looked up and I was like, wait a minute. I looked at this guy and I didn't have a plan. And that's the whole point right there. I was just like, all I knew is I wasn't doing this anymore. And I said, you know what? Here's your laptop, here's your phone, I'm out. And I walked out the door and, you know, it was like the angel, I came out. It was like June 26th. It'll be 6 years. And I remember feeling like somebody just lifted a weight off of me. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what I was going to do, but all of a sudden the plan kind of just came to me. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm going to start a drone business. And so I did. And that was going fairly well. So that's how that happened, right? I just reached a point where I was just like, I don't need this, man. I'd been listening to, I'd been listening to Gary Vee talking about, you know what, man, you got this in your pocket. You can build a business, bro. And I'm like, he's right, dude. Like, this isn't 1975. We need a few $1 million to start a business.
No, you just got to start
bootstrap this thing. Just go crazy. So I did. And so that's how I quit. And then, if we want to get into how I ended up in STEM, which is a whole different story, which is a better story, I think, in terms of purpose. But we'll leave it there for a minute and you guys can kind of react to that.
Let's get into that. Yeah, you're hanging out with Scott Buell, Keith Billis, John Anderson, and C. Marty Fit here this morning on Mornings in Live with Keith and Friends. We have Andy Smalls floating like a fairy in the comments. Andy, good to have you here this morning in the comments. I see you there, Roofy. I see you there. I'm shit with names. Yeah, we are too. Good to have you here in the lab here this morning. Hey, Marty, let's do the fit tip and we'll come back with Scott Buell.
Yeah.
Scott, you can hang around for a while. Hey, buddy.
Scott in the comments asked some good questions too. I just want to point that out.
Oh, I see that. Oh, yeah.
That's a good question for Scott.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's do the fit tip, Marty, then we'll come back with some questions. Okay, brother?
Yep.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right.
All right, let's get it, man. We got the fitness tip for today. Keith, get off the screen. Johnny, get off the screen. Thank you, fellas. No, I'm playing. Alcohol and fitness do not mix. It's just the truth. Now, I'm not telling you to never drink again. All right. I'm not telling you that I never indulge in alcohol from time to time. And it's literally from time to time. It's not something I do often. But let's talk a little bit more about it. Alcohol, it's going to mess up your sleep. You can't get that deep sleep, the REM sleep, REM sleep. And that's where you grow, right? That's where your muscles grow. That's where your muscles repair. That's where the fat is burned. So we're just here at the surface level, right? Let's talk about the calorie intake with alcohol. A lot of these, the popular ones, tequila, vodka, cognac, whiskey, whatever it is you like, you're looking at 70 to 100 calories per shot. And you're taking more than one shot a night. You take a shot every time your football team scores. You take a shot at the end of the quarter in NBA playoffs. So come on, guys. Let's be real. And alcohol is probably the worst enemy for fat loss. All right? It is almost impossible to lose fat if you're partaking in alcohol regularly. So understand, you can enjoy your life without alcohol, and if you decide to do it, it has to be literally in moderation. I'm talking once a quarter, maybe once a month if you're disciplined for that. Whatever works for you, but you're just going to get better results without it. It's not a debate. Check the science. You can get mad at me if you want to, but I'm just here to help. That's the fitness tip for today.
Today we see Marty Fit. An alcohol tip today. Love it, Marty.
Yeah, man.
Always good stuff here.
It's the truth, man.
It is the truth. It's absolutely the truth. Yes. Scotty Buell coming back with us today.
Yes, sir.
Buell, we got Benzie with a question. Scott Benzie, one of our regular listeners, come in saying, when you were chasing the job for the money, would you consider that the corporate mentality? And he also comments saying that love that you found freedom. And Scott Benz is a Buffalo Bills fan, so we got everybody coming us from the east.
Yeah.
Benzie, was that the mentality you had there? Is that what it was? Were you stuck in that mentality, Benzie? Or I'm sorry, Buell, or what?
Yeah, man, I was. It's just like when you're young coming out of school, everybody's telling you, get that job, get the big house. Oh, you're going to grow into it. If the focus is money, I keep telling my son's 19 and I have these conversations with him quite a bit because I want him to be happy. Right. I think you got to be self-aware of what makes you got to define happiness first. I think that's the most
important
thing.
What is your definition of happiness?
100%, dude.
Fucking go get it. Because
if you don't have a target,
if having time with the ones you love is part of that definition, maybe you should be careful with going to the corporate world.
100%. Or be at least have the awareness to say, okay, because I don't, look, I think going in early into corporate, I think was good coming out. I learned a lot in those early days, right? I was around some interesting people. I had a lot of mentors. I learned about accountability, showing up on time, getting the meetings prepared. There's a lot of things. I think I have employees now that are young guys, and they're working remote, and they show up on Zoom, and it's clear they just woke up 15 minutes ago and they're still in their bedrooms. And I think that's messing these kids up, man. I got to tell you, I think there's something to go into corporate early, but I think you got to use it for what it is. I'm not sitting saying corporate sucks. I'm thinking you got to understand what it is you want. And I was chasing all the wrong things, right? I didn't have a career track. I didn't have a plan. You got to have some sort of a plan.
Yes.
And you got to understand what's going to make you happy is the ultimate thing. You want to go make 75 grand a year? Well, then understand how to live on 55, right? Or you want to drive a Benz? Then you better go figure out how to make 250, and understand that that's what you're doing and why you're doing it, right? So having a clear purpose, and I just never had any of that. And so for me, I just don't like taking orders from anybody. I realized that, I never did. As a kid, I was a real messed up kid. I got sent away when I was like 14 years old. I was a hell on earth, man. I was hell on wheels. I just never liked authority telling me what to do. So why would I ever go work for somebody? I need to be the boss.
Yeah. Well, and then you became one by becoming your own boss of a drone company. So talk a little bit about the drone company now, Scott. How many employees do you have working for you? I've
got 10 now.
Wow. So this is what I love. The guy goes from corporate job, telling his boss to basically kiss his ass, hands in his phone, hands in his laptop. Now he wakes up with 10 people working for him. And what I love about this is that I'm going to suspect, Scott Buell, what you learned from your boss and how your boss treated you is exactly how you are not treating those 10 employees that are working with you. Am I correct?
100%. 100%. Listen, again, I'll throw his name again. Gary Vee says it, you work for them. I can't do, we would have never achieved what we've achieved without the help of the staff that I have. It took me a while to find the right team. And I think that's a critical component of building your business is first who, and then where and what. You got to start with who. It took me a while to learn that. This was my first go around as an entrepreneur and building my own business. And so I made some mistakes in terms of hiring. I was probably a little too nice. Didn't vet people clear enough. But to your point, yeah, I try to treat people with respect, kindness, firmness. I used to mentor a guy and I said, dude, iron fist inside a velvet glove, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to have the respect. I interview a lot of teachers. Because I work with teachers now. They are my customers. And I talk to teachers on a daily basis. And the first thing they all say, the biggest mistake all of them made when they first started out, it's like a parent. You can't be a friend to your kid. You got to set boundaries. You can be nice. You can be empathetic. You can be respectful. You can treat people with dignity, but you can't be their buddies.
Brother, that's such a, when you said about parenting, that's what I used to tell my girls all the time. I said, look, I will be your father first. I'm your friend second. There's going to come a time when that role will switch, but right now, do not mistake this.
Yeah. I mean, and people appreciate it, I think, so for example, children need structure and discipline. They don't thrive without it. So too do your employees. If you don't have a clear definition of why you're asking somebody to do something, they're not going to perform to the best of their abilities. You always have to be very clear in terms of why. So yeah, Keith, to get back to your point, I don't treat them like assholes. I treat them like people with families and their own problems and this and that. I expect a lot out of them. I hold myself to high standards. I mean, so look, man, this is what we live by here. The 5 principles of my business are excellence.
Oh, that's awesome.
Empathy, creativity, accountability, and autonomy. I'm a huge proponent of accountability and autonomy. I mean, if you can't, as an adult, if you can't self-regulate yourself and hold yourself accountable, get your ass out of bed in the morning, get yourself where you need to be. Nobody should be babysitting adults, right? And
and that's the biggest mistake when I talk with businesses or colleagues. You haven't hired a child, so why are you managing the child? Fire the child.
Yeah,
hire an adult, empower the adult, hold the adult accountable, and then let the adult soar. And if the adult is not going to soar, fire them and don't hire a child. Too many companies hire fucking children. And then they spend all their fucking time and put it in the car.
That's right.
Hire adults.
Hire adults. And if you're going to hire children with huge potential and mentor the hell out of them.
Yes.
But understand that's what you're doing, right?
Yes.
So you need to have, again, it's expectations. It's becoming real and pragmatic about it. If you're going to hire those young ones with potential, you got to see the potential in them, and you've got to give them enough room to grow, but enough structure and discipline to where you're mentoring them. I listened to a pod this morning. The guy was talking about curling, right? They're the ball, the blunt object, right? And you as a manager of the brush in front, trying to get them on the right course, right? You need to control them a little bit, but you also need some of that blunt force that youth brings with it, right? I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy.
Hey, Buell,
I got a roll, Keith.
Marty's got a roll. Marty's got to take care of business, man. Marty, I always love having you hanging out with us, brother.
Of course, man.
Buell, say goodbye, Marty. Marty, say goodbye.
Marty. Nice to see you, man. Nice to meet you,
man. Yeah, we'll see you in the football season, man.
We'll you guys,
come back in football season.
Commanders are no joke this year. You got a great quarterback, man. That kid's insane. So, we will see you for sure, Marty. All right.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
see what happens.
All right,
we'll see what happens.
Marty, take care, brother.
All right, guys. Yep.
All right.
Hey,
Scott, so I want to stick on your journey because I think this is enlightening to a lot of people. So, you leave corporate, you get your drone company, you start hiring folks. Share with our audience and myself and Johnny the moment where you're in your own little head, your own space, like that own time where you're like, I got to do glasses off for this one. It's like,
dude, your glasses are awesome, by the way. I got to get.
You're like, yeah, I'm in the fucking right space.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that, you're in your own head, right? You've recognized that alcohol's gone, that old boss is gone, the old corporate job is gone. You got a bunch of employees, you got some, and you're sitting back in a moment, you're thinking to yourself, I feel pretty fucking good right now.
Yeah.
When was that? Where was that? And how did that all come together?
Pretty much the day I told the guy to pound sand. It's funny. I will tell people that it's the greatest experience in my life. The best thing, aside from the birth of my son and raising a nice well-adjusted young man, is the fact that I feel like I'm a round peg in a round hole right now. I've never felt more aligned with my life. I've never been happier.
Fuck, is that ever possible? Oh my God.
I'm making less money than I've made ever, quite frankly, right now, because I put it all back into the business.
Yeah.
But it's not what I'm doing. I'm long game now, right? I understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. I just feel like
But real quick, brother, on that level, as an entrepreneur of free enterprise, you don't want to make a lot of money. You want your business to make a lot of money.
I want the business to make money, man.
Yeah,
right, for sure. 100%, dude.
It's just a different metric. You know what I mean?
It'll all come. Again, don't chase money. Chase purpose, chase value. We bring massive value to the people that we serve. Our community is huge. I literally love what I do. I was, when I was doing the drone thing in the summer of 2019, I serendipitously I knew that something was missing. It was funny because I'm going and I'm like, all right, this is cool. I'm on my own. I'm free. I didn't have anybody working for me at the time.
Yeah.
I remember thinking about this. I was going, wait a minute. This is kind of a cool side gig. I'm out here doing drone video and I knew something still wasn't there yet. I was happy. To be doing anything. I was like, look, man, I'm earning a buck. I'm out here doing my own thing. November of 2019, I get invited into, and I'd been open to this. I'd been looking for what's my big impact going to be? Where am I really going with this? This isn't it. This is a stepping stone. I knew it. I felt it in my heart. I felt it in my gut that there's something bigger beyond this, but like anything, doors open at one at a time. You got to build up to things. And I got invited into a 5th grade classroom right out here outside of Philadelphia to talk to kids about drones. Like somebody's like, hey man, will you come in? And my niece is a teacher there at the Promise, and the kids would love to hear you talk about drones. And I was like, sign me up, man. And I walked in not knowing what to expect. I was supposed to be there early in the morning. And I came in, I had my big drone and I had my little drone. And I had already been kind of noodling with this idea of STEM with drones. It started to, and I remember it just started pouring out of me like a muse, right? It was like, hey, do you know what I do? Like my pitch was already there. It just kind of came out. And I was like, I fly drones for a living. And they're like, you make money doing that? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, and I remember, wow, the teachers were like, what the hell did you just do? I was supposed to be there one class. I ended up doing 5 classes in that same school that day.
That's cool, brother.
Somewhere sitting at that little table with my little chicken sandwich and my milk, right? The little cardboard milk with my knees bumped up against the table. Like, this is the greatest. And I walked out of that school that day and I remember going, oh yeah, that took you 52 years. I was like, I'm not starting a drone business. I'm going to be in the education. I'm going to change. See, I'm going to make kids' lives amazing. And here's why we're called drone legends.
Yes.
And we're not called drone bots or bits or bytes, because my kids are future legends. My kids have a unique potential in them. This goes back to my childhood experience where I was a disaster. I got sent to a character education school in Maine when I was 13 years old. I got booted up there for 5 years. I carry that with me today. I remember thinking if a guy had walked into my school back then and inspired me like that maybe my life would have gone a little bit different as a young guy. And so I dedicated everything I built Drone Legends on this idea that inside every child lives a legend. And so we've created an entire world and a universe and a community around that belief, that core belief. And so we're not just STEM and tech. People think we're a drone company and we're not. We're a curriculum company. We're a purpose-driven company. Drones happen to be the lovely shiny object that gets the kids' attention.
Them in the
There's
door.
some great career opportunities we can weave into it. So there is part of that. But at the foundation of it, it's purpose-driven. It's inside every child lives a legend. And we're changing lives through what I call the magic of drones, which is that allure.
I love it. Hey,
Go real quick. I just going to say, I can hear your enthusiasm. You're vibrating fucking high. I can feel it. I love it.
Yeah, man.
So I guess the question I have, because I subscribe to this, you mentioned that period where you got, I think you said got booted to that different school where you're having trouble, yada, yada. So you have to think that everything up to your life to this point was to get you into this amazing state that you're in. So
I do.
You look back at those experiences, say, thank God, because that's for me. That's what I do. Everything that fucked me up when I was young is exactly why I am who I am today.
So, John, it's so great you would say that. I was just on a podcast 2 days ago, and the guy said, what's your biggest, what would you change? He asked me that question. Like, if you could go back and change, what would it be? And I thought, God, man, I got to tell you, as much as I was such a screw off, 80% of my existence, I was like, nothing, because it made me who I am sitting here in front of you today.
Yes.
Brother, I'm so with you. When I get asked that question on podcasts, I say, I don't want to change anything. I would just tell because the question is usually if you could go tell yourself one piece of advice. Yeah. I wouldn't say something to change the series of events. I would just tell myself, don't be scared.
Yeah.
Push into it.
Yeah.
I would say, dude, you have something in you. You've got such potential inside of you, man.
Yes.
Don't squander it.
Yes.
Because if I have any regrets, it's that I didn't dive into this sooner, that I didn't believe that I let my partying and my I was the party guy, dude. I was the life of the party. I was a bartender. I was a singer in a band. I had the eyeliner and the makeup and the hair I was out, man. I was the guy, but I had this, there's a personality trait that's just like,
well, you were developing that personality trait you developed being that life of the party now gets put into constructive change in people's lives, bro. It was all a plan.
So here's what we're gonna do, guys. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna chop it here. Scotty, can you stick around for a little while here, brother?
Dude, I like this. I'll hang.
Awesome.
I'm hanging.
Let's rock, brother. Let's rock.
We got a lifestyle tip coming up with John Anderson. We got AJ Zeglen patiently waiting for us in the green room. We're gonna bring AJ and talk a little bit about some mind fuel and talk about 10-minute breaks, 10-minute power breaks, and then we're gonna keep the conversation going with Scott Buell on Jones and STEM and so forth, and around legends. And I have an invitation for you guys. Why worship legends when you can become one? Think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And we got some comments from Matthew Roof coming in the comments here. Planned for you, by you, not someone else's plan for you. I spent 30 years following my family's conservative, buttoned-up, safe dream for me. It nearly killed me. And I think there's a lot of people that tune into those into those plans that others create for them. And then Roof coming in with helping kids is uncommonly kind as well. Matthew Roof, meet Scott Buell. Scott Buell, meet Matthew Roof. One of our new compatriots here hanging out with us in the lab. So, all right, Johnny, let's do the lifestyle tip. Scott, we're going to come back to you in about a minute and a half or so. Okay, brother, let's do it.
Got it, man.
All right, let's go, Johnny.
All right, so this bad boy, we're just kind of taking, I guess what we're doing is we're taking our guest Scott Buell here, and he's done something that a lot of you guys are thinking, man, that would be really cool. Well, let's talk about some ways to get out of the gate with making that change. Excuse me for choking in your ear. So let's say you're in a job and you're really not inspired. You're not happy. You feel like there's more for you. I get it. With 87+% of people feel that way. Well, here's what you need to do. Find what you enjoy to do that you're not getting paid for. Something that you do if you continue doing if you're not getting paid for. That right there is something you enjoy to do. Now, if you can monetize that, which you can, your life will be forever different. So here's the plan. Number one, identify that thing. Number two, you're going to find 1 hour of your day that you're wasting. It might be on smut TV. It might be on having to walk to go get your lunch, pack your lunch so that you don't waste that time. Don't watch that smut TV. Maybe go to bed an hour earlier because you're at time, the hour before bed, you're not really getting anything done. Get up an hour early, but you take that 1 hour per day. And I'm talking every fucking day. This is a commitment. You make a decision and you go after it. 1 hour, non-negotiable, and you work on your side hustle. Your side hustle will eclipse that job you don't want to go to. You switch gears and your life is forever changed. Rock and roll.
Hey, great message. What a great message this morning. We're talking purpose this morning with Keith John, Scott Buell, and our buddy AJ Zeglen coming in with Mind Fuel here today. Scott meet AJ, AJ meet Scott.
AJ.
Scott.
How you doing, man?
What's up, brother?
Good. How are you guys doing?
What's going on there, Zeglen? What's going on, brother? Big game tonight in the hockey world.
Huge game, man. That's the exciting thing about the playoffs. It's like every game is the absolute biggest game of your season,
Yes.
So tonight's no different, man. This is it for us. So
right. Buell, you got a big hockey fans here. I'm here in the home.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see it.
So AJ, we won't hold it against him. But Buell's is a Philly guy. He's outside. He's an Eagles guy. He's maybe a Flyer fan, but we're not here to talk about that here today. We're here to talk about.
I said that's a famous group of sports fans there in Philly. You're talking about legends. Philly sports fans are legendary, man.
Yeah. They throw snowballs at Santa Claus, man.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit of Rocky out there too, right?
Right. You got that grit, dude. That's the gritty town that Philly is. It's pretty cool, actually.
That's it. Hey, AJ, I found something I want to talk about this today, which is the surprising power of 10-minute breaks.
Okay.
Wow. So what if I told you the secret to getting more done might be taking a break, not an hour, not even 30 minutes, just 10. AJ, there's been some science around micro breaks, those tiny intentional pauses of 10 minutes or less, and why they might be the smartest productivity tool that, for the most part, most humans are doing. Guys, a 2023 meta-analysis, so a couple years ago, reviewed 22 studies with almost 3,000 participants. And again, not the biggest one, guys, but let's just lean into this. And found that micro breaks significantly enhance well-being and offer modest performance gains. Fatigue drops, your vigor rises, meaning that real noticeable improvements in energy and engagement. And these breaks stimulate the default node network, the brain system responsible for insight and memory consolidation. The studies suggest that our brains may use these pauses to replay and reinforce new skills. So I was quite intrigued by this, strengthening learning. And what the study also challenged was the hustle culture belief that constant work equals productivity. But the reality was, what the study is suggesting is that we may want to find ourselves with a 10-minute productivity break every hour or when we feel it's worthwhile, because that strategic pause might actually make us smarter for the next hour instead of a non-stop grind. AJ, looking at you, brother, our mental performance, our mind field expert here. Based on what you've learned and your learnings and the folks you talk to, let's talk a little bit about the 10-minute pause. AJ.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with that exact study or whatever, but I'm familiar with the idea, right? And it's basically a quality over quantity thing, right? I work with a lot of athletes. We'll utilize naps for athletes, right? In the same type of idea of it being like, we're not napping for too long, and we don't even have to technically fall asleep. All we need is somewhere dark and quiet where we can shut our mind off. And we can get that cognitive rest or that cognitive reset. And we're looking for, around that 20 to 25 minute mark. So this would be along the same lines of that. Or, I love the gym analogies. We're all big gym guys here.
Yes.
If you're doing high-end work in the gym, if you're doing high-end strength training, you're going to rest 2, 3, 4 minutes between sets, right? And why is that? Because sometimes more isn't better. If you just keep grinding through, then I'm losing the effectiveness of what I'm trying to accomplish. If I take a break and I reset mentally and physically, then when I go to start my next set, it's done with the proper intention and intensity that I'm going to get the desired effect that I want, right? So I would liken it along the same lines to that.
I love the gym analogy because I think it's very, very similar. We sit down at our desk or we go to a meeting and we do something for 25, 30 minutes of time, 45, 60 minutes. And then often, and I was bad at it, you'd go to the next meeting and then the next thing. I had to purposely, intentionally think, wait a minute, why don't I treat this like a set? I went to a meeting, there's a set, I'm going to take a break now. And I have been finding that as I'm creating more intentional breaks throughout my day, literally intentional breaks, my productivity is increasing. And I had to learn that, like a real life learning thing. Makes sense to you?
Yeah, and when you do stuff like that, we're always talking about structure and routine and that familiarity and our body and our brain knowing what's expected of it. So then, we create this definitive line. So it's like, okay, I'm working now. My set has started.
Yes.
Or I'm in this meeting, or I'm working on this paper or on this thing that I'm writing or whatever. And when I'm doing it, then I'm all in. It has my full tension and a focus at that moment. And then when I stop and I take a break, then I know I'm taking a break, right? Instead of just, grinding it out. There's that I forget. It's a name of a gentleman, and it's called is it like Schrodinger's law or something like that? I'm messing up the name, but it's basically the idea that tasks will expand to the amount of time given to them, right?
It's Parkinson's law.
It's whose law? Sorry,
it's called Parkinson's law. I got a conversation on it next week. Actually, it might even be with you, but it's Parkinson's law. It's like saying, hey,
thank you. Yeah,
PowerPoint deck is due on Friday. You're taking the whole week to do it. You're like, okay, I got the whole week to get this thing done. I'm like, well, no, you can get it done in an hour. Well, no, but you gave me a week to do it.
Well, you can really define someone, because some lands on my fucking lap, I'm going to do it right now. It's like, like if I'm, let's just say that, I'm dealing with someone and they're like, just send me an email. We're good to go. Okay. Well,
Johnny, you just muted yourself.
I think I'm back. Yeah, I'm back on both of them.
Yeah, Johnny just hit his button there.
There we go. I think I'm back now.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I'm just that guy that says, okay, send me an email later. No, I'll just do it right now. Let's make sure you get it, because when it's all how you look at what's in front of you. When you're always looking for, okay, well, I don't have to just till Friday. Look at the time I've got. How about do it right fucking now? Look at the time I have afterwards.
Yes.
It's just it's how you frame this shit.
Scott, I see you smirking there listening to us talk about this. How do you work this methodology into your life?
Well, so two things. AJ, I love a killer nap. I wake up at 4 a.m. So,
Got a baby.
I wake up, I journal for about 40 minutes. I hit the gym. By the time 8 a.m. rolls around, I've done more than most people will get accomplished before 2 o'clock. And I feel good. It's my private time, right? Nobody's up. It's great. I love mornings. I'm a morning guy. I don't think everybody has to be. It's kind of relative. But I love a good nap, but I'm like a 20-minute, 25-minute, boom, just turn it off, shut it down. And I'm like ready it's halftime for me, man. Boom. That's like a 3:30 peak 4 o'clock, and then I'm back at it till like 8, 9, sometimes 10. I don't get enough sleep as I should. That's my 1 week point.
Brother, you're taking a page out of my book. I have a non-negotiable. My window starts at 10, and at 10 to 11 that's when at some point I power down, and it's just that little blip. Even like AJ said, sometimes I don't fall all the way asleep. Yeah, but I've just disengaged, laying flat. Powerful stuff. I love to hear that, brother.
Yeah, man. I love a nap, and I love the other thing is get shit done, man. I mean, I have real thin tolerance for procrastination, man. I mean, there's so many things. I look at a list that I live by a list, right? And it's just like there's little things to Johnny's point. It's like just when something falls on your lap, just do it. It's like, man, if that thing could take 30 seconds, just do it then. Bam, get it done. And I got more people that drives me nuts that they'll be like, I'll take care of that. And then, 4 days goes by and it's like, dude, that could have taken you 5 minutes.
I think
get it done.
Yeah. AJ, I'm looking at you, brother. So I know you are one of the busiest mofos that I know. And hey, QuickBox, what is this freak show? This is a circus called Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. We get after the circus every single day here, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Myself, AJ Zeglen, Scott Buell, the drone expert, and the biggest circus freak himself, John Anderson, the guy who he picks up a few heavy things and puts them down every now and then.
Looks like it.
But AJ, you're one of the busiest mofos that I know. Like so the guys, he goes out till 4 a.m. till 4 p.m. or till 4 a.m. till midnight, I think, every day. I know my perception's off, AJ, but I want to ask you, brother, how do you find yourself time to slow down? And do you intentionally take time to slow down? And if you don't, maybe you can take a little bit of grief or words from us that maybe you can find ways to slow down in your day. Zeglen.
Yeah, I think it's just that, I have things that regularly show up in my schedule that genuinely make me happy. My time in the gym every day.
Yes.
I know you might look at me and physically be like, hey, this dude's not slowing down with that workout, the intensity or whatever that workout. But for me, man, when I'm in the gym, I'm just existing in like the happiest place I can possibly be in. Right.
Yes.
I love it there. It's something that I just feel just makes me a better person, right? And I find little moments of that. I love my drive home. I love my drive to work. I love my drive home from work. I got about 22 minutes, and I listen to a podcast, something I'm generally interested in.
Those are your intentional break times.
Totally. Or I if I'm feeling some type of band or music I haven't listened to in a long time, I just, got Metallica turned up to 11, listen to some old Metallica, just like, and I know it might not seem to maybe the average person that's relaxing, but for me, man, I'm just in my moments there. Or when I get home and I'm in the kitchen cooking, like, so I have these things in my day that consistently show up that I genuinely love to do. They bring me a lot of joy in my life, and I feel it just kind of breaks. I look forward to them. And it just kind of breaks up my day where I get home and I don't feel like I'm overworked. I don't feel like I'm overrun. I don't feel like because I've had these instances throughout the day where I've done stuff that genuinely.
Can I interject real quick, brother? Because what people need to hear is this: winning doesn't make you tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, for real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, real. AJ's talking about a winning fucking formula. Yeah. Got his purpose. He does what he does. He enjoys it. He is winning every day.
That's the key there.
Yeah, for real. You remember Arnold's whole thing about why was he smiling when he's doing his 50th rep? And he's like, because I know where it's taken me. He's like, all I could think about is what that rep means to me. And that's my everyday life. I mean, look, I'm not going to lie. I get tired sometimes, but I'm not burned out by any stretch of the means. If you burn out, it means you're not doing the right thing. I feel like I'm on a journey and everything that I do is taking me closer to where I'm trying to go. And so I do it with a smile. I relish it. I look forward. I pop out of bed, dude. Like I shoot up. I'm up before my alarm at 4. I'm like literally looking at it. Go ahead, 3:59. Go ahead, so I can just tell you to go off, and I can pop up and get my day going.
I wake up 3:45, man. So we might have to have a competition.
Yeah,
well, I wake up at fucking 3 because I have an alarm that goes off at 4, but I never make it.
You know what? I don't care what anybody says. There's people on the show, and one just went to work this morning, Marty, and all of us are quite successful. I don't care what anybody says. Success starts in the morning.
Yeah, it does, man. Own your morning, own your day, own everything, man. 100%. Control it from the get-go.
Let's work towards wrapping this segment, but I want to leave a takeaway for everybody. And one of the things that I'm going to throw out there is this. If you're in the business world and going from meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting, stop scheduling 60-minute meetings.
Ooh.
Stop scheduling 30-minute meetings. Make them 20. Make them 18. Mm-hmm. Make that 60-minute meeting 45 or 50. And then take those 5-minute or 10-minute chunks and give them back to yourself. Mm-hmm. Like literally give them back to yourself. Give them back to yourself to either take notes to follow up from your last meeting or give to yourself to go take your brain and take a break. I'm telling you, man, it's a game changer when you start doing that. Right? So, P-Rod coming in the comments with the comment addressing our brother AJ. Whoa, deep cheeks himself. Yeah, true story. We got AJ Zeglen joining us here.
I think actually, you know what? To take that term, I don't know that I revealed this. Yeah. I was actually deemed Deep Cheeks as a nickname probably in 2011 or 12 because I was on a podcast, actually Mark Bell's podcast.
There
way
you
back
go.
when podcast started.
Cheeks.
I love it. So he asked
me to tell him a funny story. So I told him a funny story about shit my pants, but it didn't actually touch the underwear.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Bernard Aldis, I see you there as well. Be Driven Equipment's back in the lab this morning. We have Deep Cheeks John. We got our new nickname for Anderson, Deep Cheeks Lab. Actually, Jimmy, I found a video. Johnny doesn't know this. I meant to get it here for today, but I don't think I'll get it organized. I found a video of Johnny wrestling over in Japan, and guys, it's going to blow you away. I saw moves that he did in that video that I don't even think he knows he did himself. So maybe I'll pull that up. Just show it. Actually, if I can grab it here while we're on the show, I'll do it. But let's work towards wrapping this up. We've had AJ longer than we'd like. AJ, final words from you, brother, on a 10-minute break or anything else you want to throw on the table before we wrap it up, pal?
I mean, just I guess a couple things real quick. It is Deep Cheek Tuesday today, so which now I refer to as Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to that. Speaking about things that I do for myself to help recover. The other thing I'll say too is, and I feel fortunate to be in this situation, but part of it I think is the effort that you go into creating the things that you're doing and the opportunities that present themselves and how you're taking advantage of them. But these things that I do when I work in the gym with people, when I work in a therapy office with people, you're giving a lot of yourself out there because I enjoy doing it so much. Like it's filling my cup up at the same time. Yeah. So often we think of, I give, and people are like, well, you can't give from an empty cup. How can you work with this many people or do this many things? And I'm like, these people are filling my cup. I'm meeting great people. I have great relationships with them. I'm learning from the people that I work with. I genuinely feel like we have mutual respect and trust with one another, and they're filling my cup as I'm working for it. They're not just taking from me, right? They're giving me a lot too, which I think helps bring that balance where at the end of the day, I don't feel like I'm completely worn out.
Well, I think that's the key message, AJ, is that, and Buell brought it up earlier too, is that it's linked to purpose. Like John has his purpose, Buell has his purpose, I have, and that purpose equals energy. And when you get that energy, it doesn't make you tired. Because as Johnny says, if you're winning, if you're going after your purpose and you're winning, I don't know how you're finding yourself to be tired. Because there's some pretty damn successful people in the world that are constantly going. Because what I suspect is that their purpose is aligned with why they're going.
Well, on that level too, we got to remember that AJ's talking about being surrounded by people that fill his cup. People that are getting better, people that are working hard, people that are vibrating high. You can easily surround yourself and work with people that are fucking just wearing you out. So when we talk about, be careful who you let close by. That statement is not understood by enough people.
Yes.
Proximity principle. It's real.
Very, very true. Very true. Be Driven. I love your comment, brother. I appreciate all that support. Smash the like button, guys. The value here is phenomenal. AJ, you're welcome to stick around. We're going to get into a habit stack hack with a few other topics before we wrap the show up, but I know you probably got to rock and roll because you got a busy day ahead of you. So, Zeglen, I love you, brother. Go Jets, go. Final words.
Sorry. Oh, for me? Sorry, I cut you off there. I didn't.
Final words, pal? You're good?
Yeah, that's it. Go Jets.
All right. All right. That's good to hear. All right, Jimmy, let's walk AJ into the lab. Let's keep the show going here, guys. Johnny and Keith started a segment here. It's called the Habit Stack Hack. And I got one here for us today. And actually, Buell brought up this morning and he talked about journaling. And Johnny got one for us today. So here's how it works. Keith brings out the complicated habit stack. And then Johnny simplifies it down so it works for everybody. And that's how Keith and Johnny work, man.
Well, and I was going to say, brother, this is going to be a great drill because now you know your marker. Here's what I want to do. How can I present it simple? So really when it comes down to the better you get, the harder it's going to be for me to simplify. So this like should be a great way for, it's going to be kind of a fun progression.
This is fun. So this one here is all about, this one, Johnny, I got attached to your coffee's brewing. Why not brew some happiness as well? So maybe we might want to go when you're starting. So as you get up in the morning, as you start brewing your coffee and your coffee's brewing, what does it take, a minute and a half? Maybe there's time, John, to write a gratitude note in your gratitude journal. So the trigger is coffee's brewing, gratitude journal is the subsequent. Make it simple, brother.
Well, then first off, that's a hell of a lot more simple than yesterday. Jesus Christ. But yesterday was like, what the fuck? This guy's trying to fucking create something even I wouldn't do. I'm a master at this shit. So I like that, brother, because it's simple, right? And it's even got the trigger of starting the coffee. So I think because a lot of times people hear journal, they hear gratitude, and it's like habit. They're like, oh, fuck. Yeah. Okay, so the element that I want to bring into this, because this is very simple, very, very good. So I would say pick your positive task, whatever it is, whether it's journaling, whatever. But most times people have a hard time with whatever, taking that step. Well, you enjoy your coffee. Right. So what you need to do is you need to create or connect a positive association with the smell of that coffee and doing this task. Like I have something similar. Reading has always been a challenge for me, but I enjoy my morning coffee. So what I do is I take my cup of coffee over to my chair where I read. And because the fact that I've got that coffee with me, I'm going to enjoy that coffee, and that the barrier of entry to read. And it's keep in mind, it's a very, very low non-negotiable, just one page. I always do more than one. But what I'm getting at is create a positive association and make your positive task a very fucking low barrier of entry so that you do it. Because we don't need much. Really what we want to do is we want to create the habit of actually doing this. Yes. Because then guess what? Keith's going to find something to fucking stack on the backside of that. And if it's too complex, I'll come to the rescue. Don't worry.
That's right. So guys, your coffee's brewing. The trigger is a positive reaction. Whether it's a gratitude note, a text to your mom, a text to your wife, your brother, your buddy, right? Something that triggers next to the coffee brewing. Scott Buell, Johnny and Keith are working on this habit stack hack. John is a master and he's an expert in habit stacking. It's how he's found success in his life.
Yeah.
What's your POV and how do you feel about habit stacking, Scott?
I think habits are one of the most important things you can do. Get into those daily habits. We have them bad ones. We have good ones, right? Yeah. So I think start learning how to convert the good ones. And to John's point, low bar hurdles are the best way to get going, man. Don't push it too hard. It's like, it's the same thing we do in anything. Start people off very simple because success breeds success. And so when you start real easy, those successes start to compound and they build you up for bigger and bigger successes over time. So Jerry Seinfeld used to have the thing, don't break the chain. He had to write a joke every day. He had to write one joke every day at a minimum. He said, don't break the chain. If you break the chain, you lose momentum. Momentum's a funny thing, right? So you just start small and those things pick up. So for Johnny, it's like, right, while that coffee's going, it's one page. Hell, dude, one sentence to start.
Yeah.
Crack the binder, right? Crack the binder on the book. Make sure you hear it snap.
Well, here's the thing. There's some science behind this, everybody.
There is.
Basically, when you do something that's a little outside your comfort zone and you complete it, one page, one sentence, whatever.
Right.
Your brain releases dopamine, which is considered to be the do it again drug. Like,
that's right.
That felt good. It starts looking for something else that it could do to feel good. And you get into this repetitive cycle of, God, I start off with this little win. By the end of the day, the wins are much fucking bigger because you're searching wins all day.
And it's got bigger implications over time because when you hold yourself accountable, you start building self-respect. And when you build that self-respect, you're able to achieve even bigger things. So it's like a flywheel, right? The more you start to do these things over time, consistency, little habits compound. You've held yourself accountable. Now you look at yourself in the mirror a little bit different. It's like going to the gym for the first time when you're overweight, right? The first time, but as soon as that first person looks at you and goes, man, you look good. Like, what are you doing? That looks great. Boom, dopamine, bam, right? Like, oh, set. So I love the whole habit stacking thing. I think that is probably the biggest key to any success that I've seen, is just to hold yourself accountable, have positive routines, and get into the habit of doing the right kind of things for you. And you have to be accountable. That's why I don't break them. I take my journal with me to when I travel, right? So I put it in the box, because for me, that's it. Like, I love my blue pen on that white paper. I love it. To me, it's soothing.
Yeah.
That's my thing. But yeah, the habits are crucial, and they expand, and they build a flywheel around you, so that success starts to breed success and confidence, and people will see it too. And then opportunities open up. Why? Because you walk with your shoulders back a little more, your head up, you look a little different, you enter the room, you got that confidence. We all know what that's like. That confidence attracts, right? And so it attracts opportunities to you. Luck, good fortune starts to follow you when you start to have that kind of a mindset. It all works together, man. And I think people think that I see this in business. People are, I'm going to start a business, and first they got to get the business cards, and then they got to get the shit, and then they got to do this. And you know what they never did? No. They never start a fucking business. All they start doing is playing. It's like a kid that doesn't want to eat his Brussels sprouts. They keep just spreading around. No,
that's called playing. Scott, that's called playing business.
Playing business. Just get started.
Yeah.
Dude, people think it's so hard. It's not. Those overnight successes take 10 years, but you can't look at the 10 years. You got to just got to take the step. Remember that little Santa Claus movie years ago, put one foot in front of the other and you're walking out the door? Remember that stupid thing? But that was real. They were telling you something that it's just, dude, it's simple steps every day. One step begats another.
You're hanging out with Keith and John, Mornings Live with Keith and Friends, with our, I think, even more neurotic friend than Keith and John, Scott Buell, this morning, who clearly has the space in the lab and is drinking the exact same Kool-Aid that Anderson drink every single day. I'm loving it. Scott Buell's the owner and founder of Drone Legends. Guys, and here's the hook. He had a corporate job he fucking hated. He had a boss that was an asshole, and he left. He's like, no, I'm going to go start my own thing. He's got his own drone business, guys, so we all can just get up and go. Right. I know sometimes it's hard to do and it's scary to do, but with the right support mechanisms, the right family, the right habits, you leave on Friday, you start on Monday. You don't got to worry about your business name and your website and your business cards. No, you just go start selling. So, right. Hey, Buell, I got some quick hitters for you, brother, as we wrap, as we keep going. And I got some comments. So we got Curtis double cheeked up on Tuesday. Curtis, let's get after it, brother. Those deep cheeks grow on Tuesdays, man. I was working on mine this morning. AJ's got his today, and I think Johnny's getting after it as well. Be Driven Equipment, 3 weeks in, one of productivity, and then Be Driven comes back with its Bernard, says 1% better at something. Get this. I love this. This is awesome. 1% better at something each day, and you are 365% better in a year plus interest. And that 100%. Again is this, John and I were laughing about it like a few months ago. Like June is next month, Scott. There's a lot of guys coming up on June, pick a date, June 9th. They're going to go to the mirror and they put the swim trunks on. They're going, fuck, I'm fat. Yeah.
God damn it, I did it again.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
And yet, Scotty, they heard Keith and John talking 3 months ago that June was coming. They heard us saying that you're going to look in the mirror in June and you're going to feel fat again, but yet they just listened to us. They ignored the future, right? But the reality,
it's because they've got a habit of procrastinating.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Scotty, most underrated drone trick you've seen.
The most underrated drone trick.
Yes.
Oh man! Wow.
Hey, before you answer, Scott, Keith, you've been sitting here a long time.
Oh yeah, you haven't left for your piss break, brother.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, man! You gotta start. I'm gonna wet my fucking pants here. I'm starting to fucking dribble. Cut me loose.
Johnny, we have to give Jimmy shit. We have to give producer Jimmy shit. Jimmy just let us go here. So Jimmy, I'm giving you shit, Jimmy. We're all the same age here, and we all know what happens as we get older. Sometimes
ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
It's not fun, man.
No, underrated drone trick you've seen, brother. Underrated.
Dude, you know what? I love it. So here's the thing. There's a couple of ways you can look at this. Yeah. I love what these FPV guys do, man. The guys with goggles. I think that the freestyle stuff where they do these big outer loops. I think the coolest thing you can do is when they come upside the building and then they shoot straight down the building. That's a hard move, and they pull up at the last minute. That's insanely hard to do. In our kids programs, we got these little drones right here. Yeah. And what they do is they actually put little objects in these cups that we put on here. Oh yeah. And then they flip them. Woo! And they have to do like these cool missions where they got to land the target and stuff like this. So we hit them. We get the kids to do some cool tricks in the program where they're flipping and trying to land their little thing on the target or something. So I think that's pretty cool.
One thing you would drone deliver to yourself every morning.
Man, that's a good one. One thing I drone deliver to myself every morning.
Coffee? Your blue pen?
I love my coffee in the morning, dude. I got to tell you, it's that little guilty pleasure. I don't do anything else. It's like that. That's my guilty pleasure. Yeah. So deliver me my hot pipe and coffee right here to my desk as I'm sitting down ready to crack open my journal.
There you go. Be Driven says gratitude. That's interesting. Yeah, there you go. I like that. Your go-to motivational phrase for students?
Be legendary.
Oh, I love it. Flying drones or flying first class?
Ooh. Oh, dude, I got to say first class. I got to go. I'm spoiled, man. I travel a lot, man. I've racked up the points and I've racked up the miles, and I get complimentary upgrades. And when I don't get them, man, and I got to sit back in the back, it's painful. And I'm a small guy, dude. I'm 5'7". I fit well in those coach seats, and I still don't like it.
Yeah, or maybe the third part of that is private. Finally. Closing question, Buell. If you had to summarize your life's pivot in one drone-inspired motto, what would it be?
Yaw 180.
Oh! What was it?
Yaw, Y-A-W. It's when you rotate the drone on a 360-degree axis. So I did a yaw 180.
Like that. That's a good soundbite, Jimmy. That's really cool. That's good because that's appropriate. Because I get it. I know the yaw. I flew. I didn't fly. I was fortunate to fly a couple airplanes a few times. Yeah, man. And I've flown drones myself. I've traveled around the world with some drones. I'm kind of drone nerdy myself there too. So, dude, I've had you here much longer than I expected.
Great, man. I blocked the time, man. This was fun. I actually bumped another meeting till 9:30, so I'm good, man.
Very kind of you.
I enjoy this, man. This is a lot of fun.
We had you scheduled for last week. We had a little bit of a conflict. I said, dude, you got to take care of what you got to take care of. And then Johnny, he sent me a note yesterday. He says, Keith, I want to make sure my audio is great and the video is great. And Johnny, he was in a positive way, so neurotic about the experience today. I said to you last night, Scott, this is our business. So the fact that you treated this really seriously, I get nothing but respect, and I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate the energy you brought to the show today.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Connect with you, find you, and I suspect you're going to be back again. So
I'd love to come back, man. Have me anytime. I'll jump on this. This is fun. I could do this shit all day. So you could find me on LinkedIn. I'm everywhere, man. LinkedIn, Facebook, X, Instagram. Oh gosh, man, everywhere. Just, you know what? Just either search up Drone Legends on any one of those platforms or me, Scott Buell, and you'll find me. I'm all over the place. I'm big on social, so I'm pretty much everywhere. You can't get rid of me.
Yeah. Anderson, any final comments for our buddy Buell?
I just think that the way that you came on here, and forget what the actual business is. You're basically coming on here and you're showing people the way that they should feel about what they do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Well,
because maybe somebody else is not a drone. Maybe it's an XYZ, whatever XYZ is. But having that passion for what you do is a life-changing experience.
Yeah,
absolutely, it is.
And Scott, John and I will often talk about guests when they're gone, and not behind back, but just in a positive way. And I'll just say while you're here, the drones is one thing. But what your positivity, your inspiration, your get up and go-ness, like all those values that you bring. I don't care if you're selling drones or selling fishing equipment or selling farm equipment. There's an aura, there's a confidence about you that it's clear to me why you're successful. And anybody listening to you or following in your orbit, it's probably going to be successful as well. So, dude, I really appreciate your leadership, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's great to be on here with both of you guys. I've had a good time this morning. This is a lot of fun. I don't get enough of this, living remotely and all this kind of stuff. So, I hope, give me an open invite. I'll jump in anytime you need somebody to come on and shoot the shit with you guys. It's a lot of fun.
Isn't it crazy, brother, how helpful conversations like this are with keeping everything straight in your mind?
It's great. I love it. And I'm happy. I hope that, and I know you guys, this is the purpose of what you do is, I hope somebody hears something and they make that first step, right? They see what I was capable of doing. I'm not special, dude. I mean, I have some innate energy, whatever, but I think everybody's capable. Everybody's got something inside them. And I think if you could just get somebody to wake up and go, hey man, I heard that dude talking. He did what I always wanted to do. I'm going to take first step today. Mission accomplished, man. And that's what we do. So thank you for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. It's nice to meet both of you. And I'm following. Have me on anytime. I'm
awesome. Well, Scott, before you go, and I appreciate you said, because that's the purpose of this show. And I'm glad that Johnny said that, because I have become a better man and a better human because of this show. Every single day, Anderson and I, we go out, we have positive conversation, inspiring conversations, sometimes with ourselves, sometimes with guests, me, John, and Marty. But I leave this show every single day with energy that I could not get anywhere else. And how it's made me a better human being. Damn it, with better choices. Absolutely. Right? We try to keep it. If the negativity comes in, we have fun with it, but it's all about a positive experience for folks to get on and make good decisions, get on with their day. So
yeah, man. Johnny said it right. Who you surround yourself by. So that's it, man. Surround yourself with good people. It'll rub off.
That's it. All right, Jimmy, let's walk Scott out of here. And Scotty, I look forward to catching up with you coffee later today.
All right, guys. Take care, guys. See you later, man. All
right.
Bye-bye. See
All right, Scott Buell's going to be out of here, and I'm going to walk Johnny out of here in about a minute or so. I'm going to do a quick little catch up with him. What's going on today? But that was fun.
Dude, I gotta say, that was your habit stack was like two different. The one from yesterday was like in the wrong fucking orbit. Like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck was he thinking? Today was, you really fucking realigned that, dude.
Well,
now, because I think what's going to happen now is you registered the lack of simplicity, right? I think now what's going to happen, it might go back the other way, where I'm going to actually take something that you brought that's already fairly simple, simplify it a little bit, but actually maybe find some stuff in the middle that kind of make it a little bit, to have a little more of a hooking power, if you will.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, listen, I listen to you, brother. You may not think I listen to everything you say. I hang in your words. I pay attention.
Yeah. Well, you learn fucking quick, because that first one, doing a fucking push-up every time you turn your phone on, fuck, I wouldn't have made that one. Jesus Christ.
Well, hey, let's share the secret in front of everybody too. We are in the entertainment business. So sometimes I'll make things fucking crazy and goofy so you can simplify them for us. So I can show your skills out there. So I might just make something really complex.
Here's the question for real. Was that a real meatball you logged in, or was that like an honest fucking crack? Was that an honest crack in a habit stack?
So here's the truth. I sat down with my old chat GPTer and I was starting to make them up. And the first one was complicated as fuck. And I looked at it and I'm like, I'm going to have fun with Anderson on this one, because who's doing 96 push, whatever it was. So
that's a fucking perfect example about chat.
Yeah.
That is great to fucking get the human brain moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
But God damn it. When it comes to some of the, because, it doesn't know. I mean, clearly it doesn't understand the average human limitation when it fucking makes a habit stack like that.
Yeah, I know. Hey, quickly before you go, I'm really glad that you said it before I did. I actually could, don't want to dismiss Scott's business, but I actually could have cared less about his drone business, because I enjoyed his whole purpose around who he was, right? Like, he was all about positivity and just getting up and do very much the same things you and I talk about every single day. Gets up, gets after, doesn't like procrastination, habit stacks, positive decisions, and choosing. It seems to me like I wouldn't get a chance to ask him this, but he strikes me as a fellow that is not afraid to walk towards failure.
Well, yeah, for obviously leaving what he left and going into his own thing. One thing that on that level I want to kind of point out, this is something I say to myself, say to my clients, it's very helpful.
Yeah.
So call it life, or call it your goals, call it your success. It's like a war, right?
Yeah.
And inside the war, there are many, many battles.
Yes.
You have to win the battles, at least the majority of the battles, if you intend to win the war. Well, so what I always say to myself is win your daily battle. Because sometimes the battle of today is a bit of a motherfucker, but you can stick with it. Win that daily battle. If you win your daily battle, you will win. It's pretty much a guarantee. You will win the war of life, or whatever name you're putting on the war.
Yep. It's so true. It's so true.
And on that level, so I was saying, when you win that daily battle, you're winning.
100%.
When you win every day, you're fucking enjoying the process.
Well, that's why I like to be driven. Bernard's comment. Jason Brophy, I see you in the comments, brother. Good to have you on the show this morning. You're on hanging out with myself and John Anderson on Mornings in Live with Keith and Friends. We get after every single day here, Jason. 8 o'clock Eastern time, live conversation for men, inspiring conversation that helps us get after it and get going. Well, Johnny, that's why I love Be Driven's comment, because you think about it, Bernard's comment, 1% better at something each day. So to Buell's point, write a sentence each day for 365 days. You got a book worth 365 sentences, right? So 1% better at something each day, and you're 365% better plus interest. Again, it's hard for us to put that in perspective, but you do it every single day. Here's the invite, Johnny. Somebody show up on the show with us every single day for the next year and take our habit stacks every single day. You're inevitably going to be a better person, or you're going to have better success. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because we're going to be here anyways. 8 o'clock, we're going to be here. So if you need a reason to get up and get after it, come to YouTube, X, LinkedIn, or Substack, and we're here. We're here to hold you accountable and get going after it every single day. Johnny, what's going on today, brother? You got deep cheeks today?
I'm actually doing kind of an interesting combo. I'm going to be doing a pull-up power clean combination.
Oh.
That's a fun one.
I fucking love all this shit you do. Really, eh?
Yeah. It's going to be, and why? Because it's different. Why? Because it's got my interests.
Yes.
And it's going to be challenging.
Yes.
So when I overcome a little adversity, I know it's going to hurt. I'm excited about it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. We have an awesome day, pal. We got I'm gonna do the community corner with Jimmy here, and then I got a business and branding segment with Nicole Bernard coming up at the back end of the hour, and then we got Matthew Roof, who actually, Johnny, I'm excited to be sharing with you. He's gonna be doing some work with us, I think, on the business side of things.
Okay, right.
Yeah, on the business development side of things, he has expressed considerable interest, and he's been just gung-ho and eager at helping us grow the business around the lab here. So we've had a few people weave themselves in and out, but this one might be a pretty positive one, actually. He's I see Roofy there in the comments, so we're gonna be, and he was on the show a few weeks back, if you remember. So we're gonna get a lot of energy from Matthew Roof, I think. So
yeah. Let's go, baby.
Before we go, how's not Midas? How is
Kiki? Keone. Keone is her whole name.
How's she doing?
Kiki. She's doing good. I think, Jesus Christ, she's like a little demon, and I say this in her regards because she doesn't have a fucking clue she ate all this goddamn rat poison. Not a fucking clue.
No.
Like when we got her ears cropped, and for those of you that get bent out of shape about cropping ears, my apologies, but it was what we did.
Yes.
The healing time was like alien-like. Like, supposed to take X amount of weeks. Fuck, she didn't have a single scab on her ear in like 6 days.
No kidding.
She is like an alien. I swear to God. I don't know what it is.
Oh, as yours, are you talking about yours? Mine just walked into the room here, because so mine walks in when everybody leaves the house. My little Pomeranian walks in. She's like, "Hey, Dad, I'm here." I'm like, "Yeah, I know you're here." So it's all good. All right, pal. Good show, buddy. I appreciate you today. A lot of great conversation, and you enjoy your day today, and we'll get after it tomorrow. Okay, pal.
Absolutely, bro. Have a good loop.
All right, you too. All right, Johnny's gonna get out of here. We're gonna keep the show rock and rolling. We are into the community corner. Jimmy, I got the notes in front of me, man. I got the notes in front of me. I just dropped inside your feed as well. Guys, is AI about to replace your job, or can it supercharge your creativity and productivity? Welcome to the Community Corner here on Mornings and Live with Keith and Friends. Today, we're connecting LinkedIn and Substack in the Community Corner on Mornings and Live with Keith and Friends. And today, we're going to start, and Jimmy's going to get some of the visuals up here for you guys. A brand new segment we're getting better at, which is the Community Corner. This phone number keeps phoning me at the same time in the show. I have no idea who they are, but when I answer it, it goes to this hold for the person that I'm like, no, I'm not fucking hold. If you're going to call me, I'm not holding for you. If you're phoning my phone, I'm not holding for somebody. So somebody a couple years back makes a phone call to me and she says, hello. I'm like, hello. She goes, yes, Joe Smith has wanted to speak with you. Will you hold? I'm like, hold on. You phoned me to put me on hold? No, fuck that. No, it doesn't work that way. You don't phone me to put me on hold. No, I don't operate that way, actually. All right, so today we're starting with Pierre's thoughtful perspective on Substack. I have no clue if Jimmy has this ready for us, but maybe he does. Be Driven Equipment says, put raw honey on anything you want to heal fast. Yes, and Lady Drew's coming up with everything. Everyone have a happy, healthy, safe, and successful work. Benzie, I saw your comments there this morning around, I have a friend that got his license for drones. He does so-called walkthrough. I used to do a little bit myself, Benzie. I took a drone and we scanned an entire cemetery down the road a couple years back. And and Fit Presenter, AI is calling you and putting you on hold. It's the latest. I haven't had that happen to me, Mike, but I can tell you I've had humans call me and put me on hold. And I'm like, what the fuck? Who are you? Right. So, all right, Jimmy, you got Pierre's thing ready. Let's rock and roll with it, pal. Pierre's thoughtful perspective on Substack, where he emphasizing AI as a behind the scenes assistant in content creation. I spent some time reading about Pierre's stuff over on Substack, and he talks about streamlining workflows and organizing insights rather than directly replacing creative roles. And it sparked insightful feedback from Window, who challenged us not to obsess over the latest features on AI, but instead to cultivate deeper insights. So I invite you guys to consider this. How can we actually use AI to elevate our human strengths rather than overshadow them? And I think that's the key question, right? As we move into a world of artificial intelligence, maybe the singularity, how can we use these tools? And that's what they are, guys. Let's just be frank here. They're tools. Right? How do we use these tools to elevate our human strengths? You know, I heard some folks recently say that AI is going to create more human jobs, not less. Do we think that's true? Maybe they're different kinds of human jobs. Right? All right, Jimmy, let's switch over to LinkedIn. Switch gears to LinkedIn. We got Michael Craigholm, who threw down a bold challenge, calling out complacency and advocating for radical accountability and disciplined action. His intense message strongly sparked dialogue around leadership styles and self-accountability. And it begs the question, are we truly pushing ourselves beyond comfort to achieve real growth? Or are we just settling? And then Jimmy, we got Derek Billy on LinkedIn as well. And Derek is highlighting an often overlooked but critical issue that many men struggle with: expressing boundaries, which impacts their self-respect and their relationships. And his post listed powerful reasons why setting clear boundaries is crucial, igniting heartfelt conversations on vulnerability and emotional strength. So we ask, and Derek asks, how can we better equip men to embrace and articulate emotional boundaries? And again, we're going to move back over to Substack. We got Louise Hebert sharing a simple but profound truth on Substack, saying, love your children loudly. For those of you that have kids, love them loudly. I really, her post struck a chord for me. Her post spoke volumes in a culture often urging children to be quiet or self-contained. This touched deeply on discussions around parenting, emotional intelligence, and nurturing environments. So I invite you to ponder. This. What practical steps can we take, can we all collectively take to express louder, clearer love to our children? Have you told your kids you love them today? And don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. And then Jimmy, let's move us back over to LinkedIn, where we get Jacob Ciccarelli or Cicarelli. Jacob, I grew up with hockey with Dino Cicarelli, so I'm going to think it's Jacob Cicarelli on LinkedIn, who brought up an intriguing ethical dimension regarding AI, inspired by our new Pope Leo's remarks. And Jacob encouraged our community to reflect on the moral. I'm actually just kind of doing quiet burps in between the words there, guys. If you're wondering why I'm pausing, yeah, I'm just being honest. I don't think all hosts really reveal what happens when they're speaking. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of holding back a burp or an air here. But this guy encouraged our community to reflect on the moral responsibilities of tech in today's rapidly evolving world, prompting a vital discussion. And Jimmy, here's how the discussion works. As technology creators or users, what ethical responsibilities must we embrace? to ensure that AI serves humanity positively. Now, here's my invitation. You want to add your voice to these impactful conversations? This brand new evolving segment called Community Corner? I invite you to tag us in your content on LinkedIn, Substack. Tag Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. We might just select your story. We might select your comment. We might select your opinion. We might fucking select you. Yes. And bring you onto the show and celebrate you, talk about you, put you on the old proverbial stage and make a big deal about it. So join us on the Community Corner every single day, 9:30 Eastern time. Jimmy, let's move on over to the Creator Spotlight before we bring in Nicole Bernard in a few minutes for business and branding. I see Nicole there. If you guys know, we started this show back in March of 2024. It was Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Nicole. Nicole's back, coming back here in a few moments. We got a segment coming up called Business and Branding. We're going to dig into some business and branding stuff to get you guys up to speed on the world of business and branding. But first of all, Jimmy, let's get into the Creator Spotlight. We're going to start on the LinkedIn side of things. And I'm just opening it up here right now, Jim. And the difference between a $30 million business and a dead idea might just be your willingness to choose. Because clarity doesn't come first. Nope, conviction does. And no one understands that better than the next creator that we are going to celebrate. Now, this creator didn't wait for permission. He didn't have the perfect plan. He had a spark. He had a spark, 50K, and a relentless drive to figure shit out. Yeah, Jimmy, we're going to leave the SH next to the IT in there. Yeah, true story. And he did. He did it twice. Not once, not three, but twice. The guy's built and scaled one of North America's fastest growing companies, twice named by the Financial Times and featured in the Globe and Mail's top 400, not because the path was obvious, but because he learned how to triage ideas, filter distractions, and execute fast. This morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is excited to introduce you to Sushi Pruema. Yes, what's up, Sushi? The founding CEO of Max Sold, the startup mentor, pilot, and builder of businesses with real momentum. Today, Sushi helps entrepreneurs go from stuck in strategy to to scaling with clarity. He created the 5-minute idea fit test to help founders figure out which ideas have the real legs and which ones are just noise. Because guys, we know many of us have ideas that are just noise. Because success doesn't come from having more ideas. Success comes from execution. It comes from backing the right one at the right time with the right mindset and the right people. So if you're sitting on too many ideas, not enough action, I invite you to follow Sushi. He'll help you find the one that actually scales. Sushi, we're celebrating you, brother, and here's how it works. I got the big old Mornings in the Lab lights. It's called the Creator Spotlight. I want to hand it to you so you can crank it up and Jamie, there's the sound effect. You're going to shine it on somebody in your community. Yeah, we're going to bring them on the show and we're going to have a good old passing it forward, playing it forward experience on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Be driven equipment. Sounds familiar? Take it one day and a door at a time. That's the only way to get after it. Bernard, it's the only way to get after it. Okay, Jim, let's keep it rolling, man. Let's keep going to the next segment on our show, which is moving over to the Substack side of things. We're going to celebrate a creator over there as well, guys, before we bring Nicole Bernard in for our business and branding. And then, guys, coming up after the show, we got a brand new add-on segment called The Exchange with Matthew Roof coming up at around, I suspect around 10 o'clock Eastern time, give or take a few minutes. But Jimmy, let's go to our next one, pal. You're building a business. You're raising a family. You're trying to grow without burning out. And all my hands are talking all over the place. But every time you get traction, Scott, I'm channeling Jimmy. I'm channeling Scott Buell energy. My drone's fucking flying. But every time you get traction, the target moves. The advice gets louder. The advice gets more confusing. And the process starts feeling more chaotic than clear. That, motherfuckers, is where this creator steps in. Yeah, he writes about growth with depth and offers frameworks for building a life that happens on your terms. This guy's a husband, a father of 4, and a copywriter and a thinker. Jimmy, it's a good thing he's a thinker. I'm glad that we got the thinking part into the script, Melissa. Because if we didn't have the thinker in there, I wonder how this would work. He's a husband, a father, a former carpenter, and not a thinker. No, he's a thinker. He's the voice behind the Substack publications, Growing Trees, the Garden Academy, and Man Eats Dog, and ABCDEFG, HIJKLMNOP, QRSTUV, XBL. Oh, that was not part of his Substacks. Oh yeah, Growing Trees is where it all comes together. That's his Substack, along with the Guardian Academy and Man Eats Dog. Guys, I wonder who we're celebrating today. Growing Trees is where it all comes together. It's part personal reflection, part business philosophy, and it's all rooted in one idea. One idea, Jimmy, not two or three, one. The one idea is this. If your life is built on noise, see ya. It will never feel like yours. Just ask Scott Buell. This guy, his name this morning, Mornings in Live with Keith and Friends, is excited to introduce you to Joseph Robertson. What's up, Joe Robertson? What's up, Joseph Robertson? With all of the Substacks under your name, and his writing helps you think clearly. Yes, it does. He builds intentionally, and he leads from a place of alignment, not anxiety. If you're tired of chasing outcomes that don't deliver peace, Joseph's newsletters, plural, is a good place to start finding it. So guys, if you're looking to connect with somebody awesome who does a lot of writing, clearly, it's got 300,000 Substacks. Joseph's newsletters is a good place to start. And Joseph, here's how it works, brother. Love to have you on the show. Love to give you the old Mornings in the Lab Creative Spotlight so you can shine it on somebody in your world and bring them in and pay this whole experience forward. And that is the Mornings in the Lab Creator Spotlight, the Community Corner. Jimmy, it worked. We got two of these under the belt. We started this expanded segment yesterday. Like I said, guys, you want to be featured in the Spotlight? You want to be featured on Community Corner? Come knock on my door. Come tag me in a post. Come say, hey, I got somebody you should feature. Okay. Maybe we'll feature them. Yeah, true story. All right. It's funny. Just moving myself through my notes here with the sultry sounds of ting, 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 ting in my ears. All right, guys, let's keep it rolling here. Jimmy, I'm just pulling my notes up around the business and branding side of things here. Just to keep you in the loop there, Jim. All right. I'm going to do this here, and I'm going to do this here. I think I need some tunes, Jimmy, to introduce the business and branding segment. What you know what I'm going to do for now, actually, I'm going to use these tunes for this segment for just this moment because I love this tune here. I love this brand new Mornings in Lab opener. Oh, woo, baby, I love it. Made it myself. Made it all by myself. Yeah, not only do I talk for a living, but I can make music too. I just put words into a chat GPT thing and it makes music. Oh, listen to the strings. Oh. All right. I'm Keith Billis. In our business and branding segment today, we're going to dive into 4 major developments. And to do that, we're going to welcome in the originator, the original, the OG. Jimmy, do we got her queued up? We got to bring the OG in all the way from Oregon. Nicole Bernard joining me. There she is. Yay.
How are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome, thank you. I was excited about the segment here today. And look at the clock, Nicole. I'm only a couple minutes behind. And I was like, hey, I was really excited about making sure we were on time here today. And yeah. What do you think of my new opening music?
I like it. And I also like the music right before this too. It was like The Hobbit, or I felt like, I don't know. Like some fairyland or something. I loved it.
Kind of like The Hobbit. Yes. Yeah, I'm now a music creator. I'm not only a talk show host, I'm a music creator now. There's a wonderful app, since we're talking business and branding nation, there's a wonderful app called Sumo AI, sumo.com. It allows you to make your own music with a prompt. And it is, pardon my language, it is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna write that down.
Like actually a prompt. So you're saying, okay, and I do this. I'm like, I do this. I go, create me an opening. Here's how I made this song. True story. Here was the prompt. Opening epic build with strings and trap. Send. And literally, true story. Literally, from the moment I walked from my bed to brush my teeth, Nicole, the song was made. And I was like, oh, I like this. And it made me 2 versions. And I'm like, yeah, I like this version. So, hey, Copy with Shaking Copy. I am from Mad Max. I am Mel Gibson's younger brother. True story. All right.
I can see it. I see the resemblance.
Yes. Okay. So we got the business and branding segment. So guys, here's how it's going to work. Every Tuesday, Keith and Nicole are going to get after it with a business and branding segment. We're going to talk a few topics to throw on the table with the goal of helping you guys with knowledge to help you get through your business, get through your day, and just get forward kind of thing. So Nicole's role in this whole situation is to throw topics for us to talk about. So if the topics are shitty, you guys can blame Nicole. I'm just the messenger. I'm just actually the messenger. So we got a few topics here today to dig into, which is Netflix bold move into vertical video, Meta's groundbreaking Llama 4 AI modules, and Instagram's innovative approach to exclusive content, and a critical update on TikTok's future in the United States. But Nicole, first up, why don't we start with Netflix? They're making some waves by testing TikTok-style vertical video feeds in its mobile app.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about why this Netflix story jumped out at you and why our marketing community and why our business community wants to pay attention to this.
Yeah. Well, it jumped out at me because it just shows, the trend of where everybody is going. We're all watching the vertical feeds now, and it's not just in social media. LinkedIn has it too, and now Netflix is doing it, which is not a social media app per se. Yes. So it's just interesting to watch this whole metamorphosis, of how we're watching videos.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And I know that the inspiration behind the redesign was, to your point, was leaning into obviously vertical videos not going away. It's here to stay. And what I understand, the reason that they're redesigning this thing is around two principles: around the vertical video, around live video. Right, so they're pushing more into the live spaces, which is where we're playing, but they are also pushing the more of the vertical video. And how I understand the redesign is that the goal is to give you those short little clips to then lead you to the longer show.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, and I mean it's smart too, because we have like the shortest time,
attention span.
Thank you. Jesus, I couldn't even get it out. So it's super smart. It's like give you a little tiny little bit, and then it's gonna just push you along to the longer one. Yes. Yeah, I think it's a great move.
Yeah, and it's what makes me curious too, Nicole, is whether we move back to a world with. Do you remember? Fit presenter Mike Nicole. Fit presenter Mike Nicole and Netflix vertical. That is gangsta. Well, so Mike, what they're doing is they're redesigning their entire homepage, and they're moving more towards vertical video in terms of how they're going to present their videos. They're not moving away their long form content from horizontal. But Nicole, we have to look no further than even just the redesign of the Instagram feed. Right, Instagram redesigned their feed about 2 months ago. Like their home feed is now not square. It's all a new format, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's skinny.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. And then they also allow you to move, posts around. Yeah, Instagram's been busy too. I swear. Yeah.
It makes me wonder, Nicole, whether Quibi. Remember Quibi? The before COVID was out with Quibi, that it was going to be a short form vertical video service. It makes you wonder if that was a little too early, and whether the time for that type of service is working its way into the world now. So as a marketer, making 2 or 3 or 4 minute content, you start to wonder if there's more appeal around that.
Yeah, I think so. It's pretty interesting because every time, like every once in a while, like they'll push longer form content, but we always kind of come back to the short form, to get that attention.
Yes.
And that seems to be, no matter what they kind of say is, super popular at the time, we always end up coming back to that.
It's so true. And we got Bernard coming with under 60 seconds on shorts, promotes rewatching too. I saw a stat yesterday we presented in one of our in the community corner on LinkedIn, Nicole. Videos that are less than 30 seconds, so call it 29.9 or 30 seconds, perform 200% better than videos that are over 30 seconds.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I know. I believe it. It's true. Sometimes, like when I'll start a video, I look to see how long it is, and that helps me decide right then and there if I'm going to stick through it.
So hold on. So you actually will make a decision. You'll look at the number, and if it says a minute and 34 seconds, you're like, no, I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, that's like, or like I'll come back maybe, and I never do. But yeah.
So while we're here, have you seen with your customers in the marketing and business community, Nicole? We know that TikTok has expanded, YouTube's expanded, Instagram's expanded to the 3-minute short. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that being implemented successfully, or is that more so a response to, well, my short is actually a minute and 24 seconds. So they just moved it and rounded it up to 3. Or why do you think there is a 3-minute limit? And I guess, how are you seeing your clients, or how are you seeing you using the 3-minute limit?
Yeah. Ours are still staying like between a minute and a half. 'Cause that's what we've kind of been doing for so long.
Yes.
That was like that was our threshold. And it's interesting. Yeah. I've seen a lot more, like there's this one girl that I follow on LinkedIn. Actually, she's one of I think she's like a VP of their marketing, and she is coming out with those longer videos. And they're very educational based. And so I do think when it is like you're teaching something like that, that 3-minute, that's really nice to be able to have. Yeah. So, but as far as, other content, that seems to be staying like the 1 to 1.5 minutes. Yeah.
That's interesting. I never thought about that, but you're right. A 3-minute video is great for teaching.
Yeah.
And great to introduce you to a longer concept, right? So if I get you for 2.5 minutes, maybe it's not 3, and then I move you to a longer video, which takes you to the actual learning. I never thought about that. That's wonderful. All right, number 2 on our topic here, guys, is Meta's AI evolution. Well, listen, speaking of digital evolutions, Meta has just unveiled its latest AI breakthrough. Breakthrough. Yeah, there we go. I'm just missing my fuzz today. Our breakthrough, the Llama 4 family of models. Well, 2 models have already been released. Scout and Maverick are already available. This one here, Nicole, apparently is an absolute game changer. Llama 4 is a behemoth. The
fact that they gave it that name, it's like, oh shit, what's coming?
Yes, which apparently is going to be the highest performing base model in the world. Now, every week it seems like there's new models being released, there's new features being released. Meta's taken a different approach, potentially democratizing access to advanced AI technology. Again, let's bring it back to the real world of business and the clients you're dealing with. How do you think these large language models, or how are you seeing them fundamentally reshaping some of the businesses that you're working with today?
Yeah. It's definitely been a game changer for clients and myself as well, to kind of do research a lot faster, to start to brainstorm ideas and content calendars. I don't advocate having it write it for you, because it still, as far as it's come, it's still not human, and people really want to connect with the human. But this one, it's funny, I was even asking my chat GPT about Llama, and it actually didn't give me an answer. It kind of like froze, and I was like, oh, okay, that's not good. But it seems to be, it's open source, which is different from all of the other ones. And that seems to be the big game changer on Llama. So you can kind of take it and develop it on your own. And I know we can train our agents on, ChatGPT and Gemini and stuff like that. But I don't know, Behemoth is going to be a whole different ballgame of how you can customize it.
Yes, I'm quite fascinated by what we're seeing from the Meta side of things. If you think about it, Nicole, as a segue to our next topic on Instagram, if you think about all of the content that Meta has from human beings over the last 10 years, think about Facebook and Instagram and all those pictures and all those videos and all that text.
Kind of creepy, but
no, but it is though, because when you shared these articles with me as I was getting prepared for today's show, I had that thought in my head, which was kind of creepy. Like, let's move the judgment aside. Just that whole statement of wow, like the knowledge that they have from humanity, frankly.
Yeah.
And keeps
billions of people,
And then the funny thing is that, we all willingly do it. Oh, I just launched a Thread account today. I'm just feeding the AI, right? So, because anything we're putting into Threads or Instagram, we're just feeding the AI, right? So it's actually quite fascinating. All right. This one got me quite, intrigued. Instagram's new lockable Reels feature. Think of it, guys, as a digital VIP room. Content creators can now share exclusive videos that only unlock with a secret code. And The Weeknd, the artist Abel, has already tested this feature using the code I Can't Sing to share an exclusive preview of his upcoming film. Now, guys, this isn't just about exclusivity. It's about creating new ways for brands and creators to engage with their audiences. Imagine, Nicole, fashion brands sharing early access to collections, or musicians dropping exclusive behind-the-scenes content. It's a clever blend of social media engagement and premium content delivery. And it reminds me a lot, Nicole, of NFTs and kind of that world of unlocking content with special codes.
Yeah.
Again, as a marketer and business person, what are you talking to your clients about, and what are you taking from lockable reels, Nicole?
Yeah, I know it's pretty neat. Like, I don't know why it makes me think of, like, I don't know, when I was a kid and you get like a special, like, like unlocking your diary or, something like that. It just makes it a little bit different.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's just, that exclusivity. And we all know, engagement's down. So I think it's, across the board. I think it's a really cool way to, really change that, make that engagement better, and just kind of like a cool, neat little exclusive way to connect with people that you're wanting to work with, and want to share all the stuff that you have. So
I have to assume, Nicole, as a marketer, this would be something that you could get a lot of clients excited and interested about because of the exclusive idea around it. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, you're totally right. Yeah, no, people are excited about it because it's just different enough to get people pretty excited. Yeah, on both sides, like your followers are super excited too. And it gives them that different little way to connect with you too. So
it seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, why weren't these around before?
Yeah. Interesting. Hey, you're hanging out with Keith and Nicole here, Mornings in the Line with Keith and Friends, and we're a brand new segment. I got my buddy, the OG, back, Nicole Bernard, hanging out with me. Brand new segment on Tuesdays. If you can't tell I'm excited, well, you're not fucking cluing into my excitement. But I'm excited to be having her in here, having some great conversation. Priyanshu, what are we talking about today? Priyanshu, we're talking about so far in the segment we have talked about Netflix move into vertical. We've talked about the new behemoth model that Meta's releasing, and our third topic right now in the segment has been around Instagram's exclusive content strategy. Nicole, the way that Instagram every few weeks, they just keep iterating. Like, that app is just a behemoth, isn't it? It's just a behemoth.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. I mean, if you think of the reels, I mean, I don't know if you remember, they had guides for a while. They've got there's so many features within that one platform. It's insane. Yeah.
And it's funny. Good time. See you, brother. Good to have you here this morning. I always love having you. Know what's funny? Good time. Before you go, I know you're lurking in the background there, and then at the end of the show, you always jump in with a comment, and I love it. Good time. Good to have you here as well. And who else we got here? Be Driven AI definitely helps speed up my ability to create custom T-shirt designs for clients off their ideas, and I refine it until my artistic eye likes something to propose to them. That's so true. And Elia, guy up top, looks like he has many Telegram accounts for many reasons. Actually, Elijah, I have one Telegram account. Thank you. Yeah, and you can go find me in there if you like, and we can have a little chit chat or get at her. But Nicole, stick it on Instagram for a second. If we think back to when that app was first released and we all started kind of playing with it back in the 1800s, how different it is today, right?
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, it was mainly marketed for like photographers, right? Like, because it was so visual, and it was pretty clunky. And then everybody got like, you had to have the perfect Instagram feed, and now it's even back to just like, let it all hang out and use all the things. Yeah, it's the evolution of Instagram has been really interesting to watch.
It's awesome. All right, then the final one here is let's address the ongoing TikTok situation that seems to come and go. It seems like whatever week we're in. President Trump has announced that he's willing to extend ByteDance deadline to divest TikTok. And I'm going to stay away from kind of the meat and potatoes of this. And I think to me the key question is this, Nicole, for you talking to the business community or to a marketer. What are you telling somebody about TikTok? Are you saying go invest your time in it? Are you saying go and spend more time on other platforms? Are you saying it's all going to be fine? Like, what kind of advice are you giving me as a business owner if I'm saying, Nicole, I got to get on TikTok, but I'm nervous about the potential ban or however it's going to happen? Nicole.
Right. Yeah. Well, first of all, I would ask you if your customers and your clients are on TikTok, and that would decide whether you're going to go, invest in putting that there. Yeah. Or other platforms. But then secondly, yes, we were scared that the first time, when they took it down for the day, I mean, everybody, like, that was a crazy time, and it came back even different. So I would say, like, because it takes a good bit of, at any platform, really, you want to put your time and effort and energy into it. So if it is right for you, I feel like it's going to be okay, considering how much he continues to, extend this deadline. And there's big players in the background that want to buy it, and one of them most likely will. So I do think, I think it's going to stay. I don't think it's going anywhere. But I would I would make sure your customers are there and you have the time and energy and, those best practices, because you don't want to waste your time on any platform, really, if you're not going to really get into it and get results out of it. So,
Nicole, I agree with you. I think the platform is too big, the money is too big, and the geopolitical consequences are too big for it not to succeed in America. So to your point, whether ownership is reclassified, whether there's changes made in policy, I'll go on record and saying TikTok's not going anywhere. It's just, it's not. It just has too much cultural influence in the world right now that it's not going anywhere. So, but guys, what ties all these developments together is frankly a clear trend. The digital landscape, and frankly, there's a reason for this segment. The digital landscape is becoming more complex, more interactive, and more politically charged. Whether it's Netflix adapting to mobile-first viewing habits, Meta democratizing AI, Instagram creating new levels of exclusive engagement. It's funny, Nicole, because Priyanshu says, and it's funny, I can't disagree with Priyanshu here, content under Insta's search bar makes me switch to incognito mode real quick. And you know what, Priyanshu? I'm not far behind you, brother or sister. I'm not far at all, actually, because I don't care about the creepiness side, but they're just sucking it all in, right? Just sucking all that data in, right? So, so again, whether Meta's democratizing AI or Instagram's creating new levels of exclusive engagement or TikTok navigating political waters, we're seeing traditional platforms evolve while dealing with unprecedented challenges. And that wraps up the business and branding segment for today with Keith and Nicole. And before we wrap this full segment up, Nicole, thoughts on how our first segment went together?
Amazing as always. I thought this was great. And I mean, I know we're a little bit behind time, but I don't think we're too bad. So
no, we're good. We're good shape. And hey, coming up, we got Matthew Roof coming up in a couple minutes. We're going to do the exchange segment following this show. But Nicole, let's wrap this full segment up. Any closing comments from you on these 4 topics? Anything we haven't touched on, or anything that we want to make sure that we ensure the audience knows about before we wrap it up?
Yeah. No, just kind of what you talked about, like, just full circle. Video is not going anywhere, whether it's vertical or if it's TikTok or it's, whatever. And I know I am also one to drag my feet with video because I hate it, but that is how people are consuming their content these days. So just something to think about, even if you don't really want to be on the video, there are other ways to, create content that is video driven that could still help you get out there and get in front of your potential and current customers.
Yes. And Nicole, I'm glad you said that because it's a nice way for me to segue into what's coming next. So Nicole, since we've been working together, one of the things we've been working on is a new segment post Mornings in the Lab, and it's called The Exchange. And it's a solution for folks, maybe like yourself, actually, who are like, I don't like video, don't know how to make video. I don't have the time to make video. I don't know what to say. I don't know what I should be talking about. So I created a product called The Exchange. Here's how it came to life. I had a guy on the show a couple months back. He's like, Keith, I enjoyed the experience. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I need videos. Like, yeah, he goes, but I don't have the time to sit down. I don't know what the fuck to talk about. And I don't have time to produce it all. I was like, oh, hey, why don't you come to The Exchange? So he sits down with me for 30 minutes. We had a great conversation following Mornings in the Lab. Then we chopped it all up and gave him the videos later. And then he just distributed his videos on the platforms after. So it was just like you and I are doing right now. And we got Matthew Roof joining us in a few moments to go through that exact experience, which is solving the problem of folks that are like, I know I need videos, but I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know when. Right? So, so that's something we have here as well. Before you go, be driven. Bernard saying, thank you, Nicole. Totally glad I was here today. And Bernard, be driven. Nicole's been back here every Tuesday. And maybe over time, I'll convince Nicole to come back even more than that. But every Tuesday, we're going to do the business and branding stuff. And guys, we all know that I love to jest through teasing. And I know Nicole you have a brother, don't you? You have brothers. Yeah.
2, yeah.
So Nicole knows that jesting through love is through teasing. So we were actually supposed to start this segment last Tuesday. Yeah, true story. And I said to Nicole, hey, Nicole, get me the stories in advance. And last Tuesday came and we had the stories.
Yeah. Sorry. The stomach flu ripped through my house. I have not been that sick in years. Like, it was awful. So sorry.
But I will tell you guys this. I met Nicole for one reason. Nicole is a ridiculous athletic business athlete. So she runs like 48 miles in 4 days. She runs like 96 miles in 3 hours. She subscribes to the David Goggins mentality of getting up, getting after it, and putting herself through extreme, crazy situations. So Nicole not only drives incredible business, but she's also an incredible business athlete. So guys, I invite you to find Nicole on LinkedIn, follow her, connect with her. If you're looking for inspiration, Nicole's got it. If you're looking to help your business, Nicole's got it. But wonderful human. And I'm Nicole, full of gratitude that we're here to get together and doing this together. And I'm looking forward to building this segment with you. And Be Driven comes back and says, I seem lucky in the algorithm because bees are popular, fascinating to people, and awesome news that Nicole is going to be here as well. So that's awesome, Nicole.
Cool. Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Hey, what do you got going on today?
Oh, just work and track. My high school track is no joke. So yeah.
Oh yeah, high school track is no joke.
Yeah, there's so many meets. So yeah, my daughter's got one later today. So yeah.
Awesome. All right, Jimmy. Well, let's walk Nicole out of the lab, and we're going to take a minute and refresh and restate before we bring in our buddy Matthew Roof. Nicole, I appreciate you, and I appreciate this conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed the segment. I look forward to chopping it up later today and sharing it with you and getting after it. And we'll get back with you next week. Okay.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yes. It was so good to be on the show with you again. So yeah,
absolutely.
I'm excited for Tuesdays.
Yes. All right. Nicole Bernard's going to get out of here, Jim. And we're going to reset here. We're going to take a deep breath. Yes. B-Drive, you love track, eh? Yeah. I was pretty fast. You guys saw how tall I was and my body type. Not the fastest guy on the track field. On the pitch. Is it the pitch, I think it's called, Jimmy? But I certainly enjoyed it. Track and field is certainly a big part of fun for me, too. Okay. Just give me a quick second here, guys, before we get into our next part of our show. Now, what's coming up next, guys, is a new segment that we are introducing as part of Mornings in the Lab. Let's call it a shoulder segment, and it's what I mean by shoulder is that it's not a part of the core show, but it's part of what we're calling is a paid segment, which is called The Exchange, and it's a segment for guys, girls, humans that are looking to Jimmy, I'm going to drop a link into your feed here. If you can help me format this link, that would be great, brother. Jimmy, I'm dropping this feed into your, I forgot to format it this morning. So I just dropped it. Jimmy, if you can format that for me, that would be great. So guys, The Exchange is a solution that we have, as I said to you guys with Nicole a few moments ago. It's a brand new solution that we're offering following Mornings in the Lab. And it's for folks that are looking to create video content, that need video content, but don't know how to create it. Don't know where to create it. Don't know the conversations to have. Don't know how to have the conversations. And they don't know how to post-produce it. They just want to show up, have a conversation, make video, and then have it distributed. And we're calling it The Exchange. And you guys have been hearing me talk about a fellow that has been on the lab a couple times here recently. And I feel like I'm very privileged and very grateful that he's come across my radar here in the last couple of weeks. We celebrated him on the community corner. And I don't know if I've met a kinder American. And I'm going to call it out, true story. I got a lot of American friends, and all of you guys are kind, and I love the kindness. But I've met somebody here recently who espews, is that the word? Espews this kindness that is frankly uncommon. And what I love about it is that he's really leaning into this business idea, this business concept, this philosophy of uncommon kindness. And today we're going to lean into the ROI of kindness, and we're going to unlock men's mental health with my new friend, my new colleague, and somebody who I'm really excited to work with in the coming days, weeks, and hopefully fucking forever and for years. And his name is Matthew Roof. And we're going to bring Matthew on here in a quick second, and we're going to dive deep into kindness, the simple yet powerful act that's completely free. And that's what I love about Matthew's mission, is that he's bringing a mission to the table that's incredibly impactful and profoundly human. Profoundly human. And my guest, Matthew Roof, the founder of Uncommon Kindness, is on a mission to dismantle stigma around men's mental health and to show us how spreading kindness can generate surprising returns. Now, Matthew believes that kindness is an investment kindness is an investment with unmatched ROI. And before we bring him up here, Jimmy, I want to lean into that one last statement. Kindness costs nothing. Kindness takes no skill. Kindness takes no training. Kindness, I guess when we're taught it by our parents, it's one thing that we want to keep rolling into on a daily basis. But to be uncommonly kind is the real game changer. So, Jimmy, without further ado, let's bring up to the exchange segment our friend, our colleague, Matthew Roof. Would shake him, Matt.
Hey, so good to see you, Keith. Really appreciate the time. The introduction was amazing. I'm excited to talk about my uncommon kindness idea and get at it with you for sure. And to be part of the bigger picture, be part of the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we can really make some difference in lives, and that's what I'm trying to do with my model too. So
let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
so let's start off with kindness as currency, Matthew.
Yeah, absolutely.
You often talk about kindness as an investment. Can you explain how kindness translates into real world returns?
Absolutely. So there's actually proven science behind kindness. As part of designing this philosophy, this program, my business around kindness, digging into the science, there is absolutely return in every aspect of people's personal lives, but as well as there's business case for kindness, mental health, improved mental health. Improve physical health. Kindness stimulates oxytocin, reduces cortisol. Those things in terms of the physical health aspect, the social connections that happen through kindness, and it's just a way to give back, and it comes back to you in return. And from pure business case, there's been research that's been done that teams that indicate that they have higher levels of kindness actually have 20% increased productivity and 50% lower turnover. So there's a direct cost in business. 93% of employees have said that kindness in the workplace increases their motivation. So those are the business data behind kindness. But really, for me, it's about putting out into the world what I want to get back, and it lifts me up. There are, again, there are proven physical and mental health benefits of kindness. But as you said it, it doesn't take any training, it doesn't take any education, but what it does take is practice. What has been proven is that kindness can have an improvement on your mental and physical health, but it only happens if you're consistent with it. And as a matter of fact, one study from the Journal of Psychology indicated that the sweet spot is 10 consecutive days. 10 consecutive days of doing something kind for someone, simple acts, does have a direct impact on improved mental health, reduction in depression, reduction in anxiety, and improvement in resilience and optimism.
Matthew, let's lean into the 10 days. I want to ask you a question about the 10 days. So you said that, I think something along the lines of if we're being kind for 10 days, being kind for 10 days is like a streak, and it's going to perpetuate more kindness. Exactly. Let's think of a takeaway or give a takeaway to the audience around the 10 days. Would you suggest creating a strategy of find 10, like how would you coach somebody to get into the habit of going 10 days and then beyond 10 days of kindness? Matthew.
So for me, the way I do it is every morning I wake up. It's part of my habit stacking that you guys talk about on the show all the time. I think about what am I going to do today that is kind, and that's what I do first thing in the morning. I try to find opportunities throughout my day to do kind things, but it's really about making it a consistent mission. I have gone so far as to write things down, a list of things that I can do that are kind, and I review that list, and it just kind of gets ingrained in my brain. And as opportunities emerge for kindness, I have that. I have it in my brain. So it's daily. It's intentional. I think about it every day. I write down the things that I'm going to do. I'm a big journaler. I think another guest on the show earlier today talked about journaling. I journal what I'm going to do today that's kind. And again, it can be anything simple stuff, paying it forward, that kind of thing. And again, it's proven to to be contagious. That's what I love about kindness, is the contagiousness of it. It's actually been proven that people who witness an act of kindness of some kind, buying somebody coffee, holding the door for somebody, helping somebody across the street, whatever it is, are 42% more likely to commit or to perform an act of kindness themselves. 42% more likely to perform an act of kindness after they witness someone doing it themselves. And that's what I love about it. My mission is to multiply kindness. So every act of kindness, the next person is 42% more likely to do it themselves.
Yeah. Always seems to be in the crosshairs of the media. Mental health amongst men still faces significant stigma. Then you add kindness to that, and people are like, what? Why is reaching out for help still such a barrier? And how do you think that kindness plays a role in breaking down this stigma, especially for men? Matthew.
Thank you for setting that up, for sure. So right now, there are men out there. There are more men's voices doing more good than ever before, and there are more opportunities to connect on opportunities for kindness. Yet we still have an epidemic of loneliness in the world. Groups of men who are depressed and anxious. Actually, there are higher than average suicide, higher than versus their female counterparts, suicide rates for men. Access is hard. You said it. There is still stigma. I talked with a friend the other day about this. He's got a 9-year-old kid who plays football, and the team that he's playing American football with, the messages that this kid is getting about, he's a good kid, he's a decent athlete, probably never going to be a pro or whatever, but even at 9, this, but he's out there lifting his team up and being sort of a more of a cheerleader than a participant in the activity, and the messages that this kid is getting, that's a weak position, that there isn't strength in helping his teammates, helping people up, literally physically helping people up when they tackle them, those kind of things. So it is such an ingrained part of our culture for men that kindness equals weakness, when the truth of the matter is kindness equals strength. It equals the ability to lift other people up, and it makes you personally stronger by being kind.
I know that you're a big advocate for a balanced approach: sleep, diet, exercise, relationships, and kindness. But here's the thing, Matthew. It's so difficult for people to get started with one of or all of the above. What is your recommendation, Matthew Roof? What's the simplest step that men can start today, Matthew, today, for better mental health and sustainable kindness?
Absolutely. So it starts with self-awareness. For me, it's literally taking a moment when I start my day. Before I jump out of bed, start brushing my teeth, doing all the things I need to do to get my day started, I will sit there for a moment. And it's not quite a meditation, but it is a moment of, what do I want to do to be intentional today with my work, with my kindness, with my actions each day. And eventually it becomes ingrained. It becomes what you do. I habit stack it with other things. While I'm in the shower is an opportunity for people. Whatever you do first thing in the morning, that's your thing. Just add the word kindness to it, and you'll start to manifest those benefits of being kind every day.
I heard. I found a great piece yesterday with a CIA agent. I'm gonna lean this into kindness, because I think it leans right into what we're talking about here, which is the takeaway to help a man start their day with kindness. And this agent talked about, Matthew, around perspective and perception. That if we go into a situation with perspective instead of perception, it changes everything. Because you said something, when you start your day with awareness and intention, well, that offers you perspective on everything around you instead of your perception. In other words, making up your mind on things, right? If you get up every single day, because I'm hearing you and as I'm getting to know you, you have this awareness, this intention. Okay, kindness is first. And then when you put that kindness in perspective for you of your life, as I'm learning, as I get to know you, it just breeds into everything, doesn't it, Matthew? So
it sure does. It sure does. So for me, when I talk about kindness and I think about the thing, it's what can I do for someone else? This is not about me. My life is not about me. My life is about lifting other people up. It's not first, what am I going to get out of this? How am I going to benefit from this? I benefit by helping others. It does come back. It gets you out of your own head. It makes me more productive, and I know it makes others more productive. It also helps me to make better choices throughout my day when I'm thinking about somebody else. I am no longer thinking about myself, and so I am less likely to do behaviors that are self-harming, whether that's excessive drinking or eating, or getting into a depression or a funk and sitting there watching TV, becoming a couch potato. I'm jumping at it, getting at what I can do for somebody else. And that is what helps me personally to lift myself out. And it just becomes this flywheel of benefit for others becomes benefit for me, and it just keeps going, including that multiplication of kindness by having people observe what I'm doing. And it's truly contagious. I've seen it in action, and I just love bringing it every day.
And humans are inherently selfish for the most part. And again, I want to lean back into what you said with the awareness and the intention when you get up first thing in the morning. And let's lean into being selfish, because I've experienced it myself. When you're intentionally kind to others, man, does it ever feel good for yourself, Matthew Roof? Right?
It does.
Talk about that. Like, talk about the selfish way. Like, flip the script. Give somebody the permission to be uncommonly kind, and then invite that person to feel how good it's going to make them feel selfishly. And I'm flipping it around because like you said, it's not about you, but it's okay for it to be about you. Yeah. If you know that your uncommon kindness is making that person feel really kind, and then they're going to pay it forward. And then here's the big secret. Yes, it works.
Yes. Yeah. Right, yeah. Matt? Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So, by performing acts of kindness for other people, I get to witness firsthand the impact of my kindness. And that in turn energizes me. It allows me to bring forth even more kindness to people. It allows me to have a greater impact in the world outside of just that moment of kindness. It lasts. It lasts. It's like when you work out and you feel that powerful energy throughout the rest of your day. You feel it, you bring it with you, and then you watch other people bring that same energy to their world. So, it absolutely is not a selfish act, but benefits me personally. It helps me to bring my best self to my family. It helps me to bring my best self to my employer. It helps me to bring my best self to the world, and therefore expand my impact.
Goosebumps is how you said that, because it's not a selfish act for you, but what we get out of it. And what I really enjoy, again, especially as I'm getting to know you and really talking more about uncommon kindness, Matthew Roof is here with me this morning on the exchange, is that in my experience, humans are so naturally quick to rant and be negative with intention or with awareness, even if it's in jest. The moment that we can kind of flip that script, and again, like I like how you said it, you get up with awareness and intention, you get into a shower, you're thinking about kindness. The moment that you can flip that switch in your head, Matthew, it's powerful, isn't it? Because you're immediately, getting rid of some of that negative crap, and your aura is changing on a daily basis. And I like that you said it too. It becomes very sustainable, doesn't it?
It is very sustainable. What's great about the sustainability of it is, trust me, I had to be super intentional in the beginning when I started saying this is the lifestyle that I am going to live. I had to think about it actively all day, every day. As I got in my car, what am I going to do that's kind? Am I going to flip this guy off that's passing me? What am I going to do? Right? I get in line at the grocery store and I'm frustrated. What am I going to do that's kind? Am I going to grump at the cashier who's a little slow packing the bags, or am I going to just say, "Hey, you're working hard, great job"? And I had to do it intentionally. It's become part of who I am, right? And it becomes less and less difficult to do it because it just becomes who you are. So you go from it is intentional. And then the other piece of it is, hey, I'm not perfect. I get pissed off. I get grumpy. I get angry. Stuff happens in the world. I get down. I get depressed. But it's so much easier to pull myself out of that after I have been practicing kindness for a while. It just does. We all have to try to pull ourselves up and go, hey, I'm self-aware here. Oh my God, I'm not doing what I need to be doing. But it just becomes easier. Just like if you lift weights every day, when you have to go move the luggage at the airport, it's going to be easier to move the luggage at the airport because you're trained. You're training your brain, you're training your heart to be kind, and it just makes your life so much more chill, just so much more productive. It allows you to think clearer. That's the other piece for me, which is when I'm kind in my heart, my brain is more alive and more open to new ideas, to trying something new, to solving problems, whatever the case may be, because I'm not all pent up with anger, anxiety, depression, all those things that just drag the cognitive function down.
I like that you used the grocery store analogy, and I was getting excited there, and I joined you for part of the conversation there, because that in many ways, Matt, to me is about perspective and perception too, right? You're standing in line, the grocery store clerk is working as hard as they can, and you could sit there and you can be annoyed because your perspective is, or your perception of the situation is that, she's going too slow and the people in front of me, and you get yourself all worked up. Or you could take a deep breath, put yourself in their shoes, put some perspective around everything and go, oh, I'm going to be kind, and change the whole situation. And again, that's what I love about it as I'm getting to know you, because we as humans have the power in that moment in the line to change the whole situation with everybody in that line.
Absolutely. It's like you said, it's perspective. It's the grand scheme of life. It's just looking around and going, gosh, I'm really actually blessed in this situation to be standing in this grocery store. How much of the world doesn't have access to groceries? You start thinking about the world at large and your perspective and how small your problems really are. And that allows you to let go of them and bring your best self. And like you said, it changes everybody's world. It changes the cashier's world. It changes the person who's in front of you and the person who's behind you. And in line. And then again, it's that same flywheel effect of you put it out there. Every person you touch with kindness is going to be 42% more likely to be kind themselves, and the world just becomes a better place because of it.
Comments in the community during our exchange segment right now, Matthew, that I want to throw on the table with you. And Adam Holroyd joins us, and he says, I'm gonna add kindness. It helps change your outlook. Being kind to others makes you feel positive. That's that selfish part I talk about. And that's okay. If Keith being selfish is being kind, call me selfish all you want. Like, actually, call me selfish all you want. And it helps make the world a better place. And again, we all grow up in a world we see and know, and in a world of social content, a lot of negativity everywhere. Kindness helps draw that. And then B Drive, Bernard comes back and says, Matthew, everything is in God's timing. Well, if it's slow, maybe he has a reason for you. Right. So, Matthew, you mentioned in our conversations and in some of the pre-research that you've provided for me is that using online resources, and I know you're a big proponent of Big Heart.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to talk about Big Heart. Absolutely. So let me just set that up a little bit with which is there absolutely is an epidemic of loneliness, depression, and anxiety, particularly among men. And yet at the same time, there are so many opportunities to connect in the world. And including this show. This show is a connection. I know that. I have felt the power of this show. I have felt the power of the people in the chat room, Adam and Bernard, and all the others who join in every day. But at the same time, we need to have personal support every day in some ways in order to stay true and to stay on task. And access to mental health is hard. It's expensive. It's time consuming. Finding the right provider, counselor can be very difficult. Developing a relationship with that person. But what's amazing is there's technology out there. There's the AI technology. The one I use is called bigheart.com. It's BYG heart.com. It's an amazing supplement for mental health. Similar to, again, if you're working out and you're eating and you're doing great nutrition, you take that protein shake or you do whatever you need to do to supplement what you're doing. Big Heart is that supplement for me. I go to therapy every week, and in between pretty much every day, I use Big Heart. Big Heart is an emotionally intelligent AI platform. It's designed to help people be seen, heard, and supported through real-time conversations. You're having a conversation with a chatbot, but that chatbot is trained, and there's tons of science behind it, and we could get wonky all you want, but the point is that it's trained in real help, both practical help, real tools, tips, to deal in the moment, as well as to improve your life on a day-to-day basis, as well as that emotional support. You speak into the chatbot, it tells you, it reads your voice. It can read the tones in your voice and say, oh, you've got this much anxiety, you've got this much joy. It's funny because I was talking to my mother about it the other day, and she's like, oh yeah, like when I hear you talk, I'm your mom, I'm intuitive. I can hear you talk. I can hear the anxiety in your voice. It's amazing that there's a piece of technology that has become, intuitive that way to really understand and help process your emotions. And what I really love about Big Heart, though, is that it doesn't just make things faster or more efficient. It really makes me stronger as a human being. It's part of my routine. We all need somebody to connect with, and it's amazing to have connections with a therapist, connections through shows like this, connections at the gym. Whatever your way of connecting with other human beings is great. But sometimes you're alone and you want to have that connection. This is a way to make it part of your habit stacking, make it part of your routine, to fix or to address and express your emotions and get real-time feedback that's going to help you to bring, again, your best self. When you're mentally strong, you're able to bring your best self and bring even more kindness into the world. So it's part of my emotional health routine to talk to Big Heart every day. And it just really helps me to bring my mission forward.
Matthew, you've talked about connection a number of times during our conversation today. You've also talked about loneliness amongst men, and you speak about loneliness epidemic among men. Matthew, Ruth, how important is community building, and what practical advice do you have for men to start building healthier connections today?
Absolutely. So I think, if we want to talk about context, I think the pandemic really kind of accelerated, and while technology helps us to connect in ways that we haven't before, it also allows us to come inside and within ourselves too, and not have to connect. So my absolute suggestion is the first thing is get out there and talk to people. Just start a basic. Oh, sorry about that. a basic conversation can just enlighten and make a connection. I was in the airport last week. Guy comes up to me, is wandering around. I just said, "Hey, beautiful night." Yep, beautiful night. Next thing you know, we're going on and on. We find out all these intersections that we have in life. Every person is different, but we all have intersections, and all it takes is a brief conversation to really find in those intersections, to bring a little curiosity to your interactions with human beings. It can be the guy in line next to you at the I think apparently I need to go grocery shopping. The guy next to you in the line at the grocery store, the guy lifting at the gym, without getting creepy. You can make connections that way. But it's also really important for me, and what I have found personally, because I had retreated within myself. I come home exhausted from work, whatever, that I had to bring my true self to those connections. And once you start bringing your true self to the connection, that too becomes contagious, and it gives people room to be their true self. And if you do that with acceptance, love, and kindness in your heart, it's going to bring you those connections, whether that's through the LinkedIn chat or whether it's live in person or whether it's on the golf course, wherever you are, you can make connection.
Personal branding and storytelling seems to occupy more of our discussions and the internet lexicon than ever, it would seem.
Yeah.
But Matthew, tell us about your initiative, Uncommon Mentality.
Yes.
Why is storytelling crucial for men seeking personal and professional growth?
Yeah, so part of my uncommon kindness model is to amplify voices and normalize things. I bring my own voice. I have found power in telling my own story, my own struggles. When I mention to people the things like, the depression that I have struggled with in my life, giving up substances, the power of giving up substances, it starts to normalize things, and people start to realize, hey, this, it gives context to things. So I established Uncommon Mentality with a capital MEN as a way to help men to amplify their own voice, to normalize things, and to make connections. It's a Substack platform that I'm on. I'm starting to tell more and more stories. I would love to have people reach out to me and tell me their story. I'd help them write their story and put it out there. And you will be amazed if you're willing to be a little bit vulnerable and a little bit honest with yourself and honest with the world, what doors that can open in terms of business opportunities, in terms of connection opportunities, friendships. You just never know what it'll open up. So my goal again is to bring kindness by amplifying men's voices. Not just men, but most Uncommon Mentality is about men, but my Uncommon Kindness business is for everybody. I just want to amplify voices and normalize all the things that we experience as people. We all have common experiences, but we live them slightly uncommonly. And by telling that uncommonly story, we realize that at the heart, we're all the same, but we can live it a little differently and learn and grow from each other.
Matthew, let's do some rapid fire as we work towards wrapping up our segment on the exchange with Keith Bellis and Matthew Roof here on the shoulder show, the exchange, following Mornings in Live with Keith and friends. We got some rapid fire questions for Matthew, some actionable takeaways. Matthew, what are 3 quick ways someone watching today to our conversation can immediately spread kindness? 3 quick ways. Matthew Roof.
3 quick ways. The easiest way is just smile at someone passing by. The other way is a gentle compliment that's appropriate about something, noticing the details of someone. The third way, I use it as the pay it forward way. Costs a little bit of money, but I'm always buying somebody the cup of coffee behind me, whatever may be. Just a little gift to the world, to a person, can really uplift their day.
Piece of advice for someone hesitant to reach out for mental health support?
My piece of advice is it can only help you. My piece of advice is, that's a great question. Go to bigheart.com. You can start there. You can go online. There are tons of resources out there. But the biggest piece of advice I can give is talk to somebody. Talk to a friend. Talk to Big Heart. Go somewhere where you can talk to somebody about where you're at, and you'll find that people are welcoming and want to support you and lift you up in your mental health journey.
I know Matthew is not an expert in mental health support. I can assure you that if you are looking for someone to reach out to, and if you knocked on Matthew Roof's door, you're probably going to get a very uncommonly kind of response.
I appreciate that, Keith. I should have said that. I really like that. Absolutely. I am open to everyone who wants to reach out to me as a friend. I do coffee chats. You can go on my LinkedIn. I have a Calendly there. Schedule some time with me and let's just talk. It doesn't have to be heavy. It doesn't have to be about your mental health, or it can be, but it doesn't have to be. I make myself, as a friend of mine said, aggressively available. And that is part of my kindness. Is just being open to people. I've gotten into some weird conversations this way, but I've always learned something, and I always take something away from those conversations. So please reach out to me. LinkedIn, I'm on, is my primary tool, but you can find me on Substack. You can find me on Facebook. Please come reach out, and I'm looking forward to learning and growing with people.
Awesome. And I guess that was my closing question, which was, how can people engage with your work, support Uncommon Kindness, and follow the journey? And as I've gotten to know Matthew, and I'm going to repeat what Matthew said, you can find Matthew on LinkedIn. You can find him on Substack. You can find him as part of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Matthew's not going anywhere. But Matthew, kindness can truly change lives, including our own. So I invite you guys to connect with Matthew, subscribe to his Uncommon Mentality newsletter. I invite you to check out bigheart.com on behalf of Matthew's BYGheart.com. And remember, guys, spreading kindness isn't just good for others. It's actually good for you. Matthew, closing comments from you, brother, as we wrap up our segment here together. Any final words you'd like to offer about Uncommon Kindness, Big Heart, Matthew Roof? Final words from you, my friend.
Yes. Every person in the world has a chance to impact the world. It's free. It's easy, and it will give you a return on your investment to simply be kind.
Better than that. Matthew Roof, I got to be honest with you, I was looking forward to today's segment. Why? Because I know the purpose of it, and it's rooted in nothing but positivity and kindness. And to those that want to be fluffy about all that, good, be fluffy about it. But it's true. It works. And whether you're driving behind somebody in traffic or in a grocery store or at work being frustrated, if you can just flip that perspective to kindness, it's a game changer, Matthew Roof.
It's a game changer for you. It's a game changer for the world. And I'm looking forward to bringing it all day, every day. It's my purpose in life.
Awesome. Matthew, thanks for joining me here today on The Exchange. Really great to do this segment with you. We're going to chop all this up, and we're going to continue to use this conversation and this content to spread your message of kindness all across the internets. And nation, get used to this young man's face, get used to his mug, get used to his message. He's going to be around. Kindness is what we do here in the lab. And we now have a kindness advocate that can take that uncommon kindness torch and just motherfucking spread it all over the place, man. And that's the purpose here. So Matthew, I appreciate you, brother. I really sincerely appreciate your mission.
Thank you so
because much. It is because it's an impactful mission that's going to impact a lot of people. And most importantly, Matthew, I know it's impacting you as a human, and that to me is what's really beautiful about this whole thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's synergistic. So I'm just going to say one time that finding the Business Athlete Performance Lab and Mornings in the Lab with Keith has changed my life in a very short period of time. And we're on a flywheel together, and we're about to massively expand our positive impact in the world together. So thanks for having me along, Keith. Thanks for welcoming me to the team, and let's get at it, as you say, right? And go Jets, I guess. Right.
That's it. That's exactly it, brother. All right. So, Jimmy, we're going to walk Matthew out of the lab on this exchange segment, and we're going to wrap up Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. And Matthew, I look forward to connecting with you a little bit later today. Okay, brother?
Sounds awesome. Thanks, Keith.
Awesome. All right, pal. All right, Jimmy, we're going to walk Matthew out, man. And Jimmy, we haven't officially actually, I got to be honest, pal, as we're making this up on the fly here. I don't know. We've never really done kind of like a show closer, show entry, subsidiary show. So like, Jimmy, do I play this music to walk us out of here? Do I play the different music to walk us out of here? I don't know. But here's how it's all going to work, guys. We've been here for a couple of hours. We started our show here today, 8 o'clock Eastern time. We're now trending on 10:50, approaching 11 o'clock Eastern time here. What a great show here today. Jimmy, we started off the conversation. I don't even know how we started about. We've had Scott Buell here today. We've talked drones. I got some wiggling going on. We ended the show with our community corner creative spotlight, and then we added our add-on segment of the exchange with Matthew Roof. We talked uncommon kindness for the last 30 minutes. It was powerful. It was awesome. And you guys are going to see all the content coming up in the future. So on behalf of everybody, we're back tomorrow, 8 o'clock right here Eastern time. Adam, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'm loving the exchange too, brother. It's a segment that we're hoping to get more out of, and Matthew's going to help sell it. So I'm encouraged to bring in a lot more conversations and voices like Matthew Roof to the show. All right, Jimmy, I got to get out of here because Uncle Keith has a restroom over there that has his name on it. He's down some water, he's down some coffee, and his bladder is 53 years old, and his bladder is going, "Let me out, let me out." So I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here. See you guys. Jimmy, thanks, brother.